hello. I changed some things. And also, it's obviously not taking in the information from the YouTube stream. Ugh. I literally was like researching all day today. Well, not all day, but like for a while today, trying to figure out how to get the YouTube chat on the screen over there with the Twitch chat. And it's just not doing it. So I don't know what's up with that, because I like did the things that it was supposed to do on the webs, like all the tutorials, and obviously it didn't work. So it's pissing me off. But hello, welcome in. I guess it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Yeah, so I'll just have to try again next time. Until then, here's just that. And then there's my like just my little message of me testing when I was trying to. The thing is with the YouTube like OBS stuff is that like with it the way I have it currently, I can't like test the chat, it seems, unless I'm live on YouTube. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a way, I just don't know enough about the way YouTube stream stuff works. So that's annoying. Anyways, today we are working on cutting out the pattern for bunnysuit. So at DragonCon, the convention I'm going to in, you know, a few days, not a few days, I guess few is 14. Anyways, I'm going to DragonCon in like 2 weeks, and one of the things that everyone does at DragonCon on Thursday night is a bunny hutch night, which is where people will make Playboy bunny versions of characters, and usually people do like funny-ish characters, or like, you know, you don't have to, but I like to do funny or like weird versions of things, so it's like kind of like sexy but is funny, or sexy but scary, or sexy or something else. So I'm making King Harold, and I need to, and I'm making it from scratch, so I need to cut out my pattern because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that my old pattern that I used, which was like another variation of this, either doesn't fit me anymore, and or I don't know where it is, which is the bigger thing between those two. And also I think I can do it better now than I did before. So yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of cutting and taping today. Exactly. I cosplay characters that wouldn't be caught dead or alive in a bunny costume. Yeah. So, well, kind of. Last year I did a Labubu, which isn't necessarily like, it's just more that it was like kind of funny to be like a bunny. It's like you take the actual thing that's a bunny and turn it into a sexy bunny. And they're kind of like gremlin, so they're not inherently sexy. Wait, here. And then the year before, we did cabbage bunnies, which were from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We did like a few of us were the cabbages, and then we had our friend be the cabbage man, and we had a whole cabbage cart, and we sat on the cart and all kinds of things. It was a big hit, a big hullabaloo. So I made myself into a cabbage bunny, a sexy cabbage. And a lot of the stuff I'm actually using for the base of this one is going to be the kind of the leftovers of the fabric that I had gotten for the cabbage stuff a few years ago. And then even before that, I was a zombie from The Last of Us bunny version. So sexy zombie. And that one is still like, I love that one so much. I really should rewear that one because I enjoyed it so thoroughly, but every year thing is with the bunny suits, I always want there to be a new one. I want to do something new. But it's possible I could wear it at a different convention. There's a convention nearby called Anime Week in Atlanta, and this year they're going to be in, I think, November. They move around the con date sometimes because depending on like availability of stuff is very weird, I guess. I don't know. Like for a while, like a while back, they were always during Halloween, and then they moved locations, and then they were during Christmas for the past like 2 to 3 years. And so, but then now they're gonna be in November, which is like just enough. I guess I don't know if it's the beginning of November or when in November it is, but I don't know. I'm like, can I still do like kind of Halloween-y things there if it's in the beginning of November? Maybe. Sexy Cabbage sounds like a weird and possibly slightly insulting pet name. Yeah, that's possible. I could see that for sure. Anyways, I have, these are the instructions, which I really, after I printed the instructions, I was like, I don't really need to print the instructions. I have them on a computer. This is actually all the stuff that I need to cut and tape together. I brought this over here because this is a wig for actually my Miku cosplay that is obviously not going to be worked on today, but I wanted to give a little sneak peek of maybe what I was going to work on my next stream. I don't think it'll be this week, or if it is, it's maybe going to be on the weekend. But I'm going to be working on my Miku, which is also something I'm making for DragonCon. But I just wanted to show it off to be like, ooh, sneak peek into what's to come. But yeah, so we're gonna be, I already did the scale. So with most patterns, if people do not know, with patterns that you get online, usually they're the first page, you want to print the first page before you, like on its own, before you print the rest of the pattern, because you want to make sure that the scaling is correct. So there's a little like guide here that tells you like, hey, this block of square is supposed to be 2 inches by 2 inches. So like that's 2 inches, this is 2 inches, or if you wanted centimeters, then this is a 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter. Just so you know that whenever you, whatever ratio you print out is going to be accurate, because obviously these need to be the right measurements for the way the pattern is intended to be. So you want to check that it's the right sizing. So you want to always like scale it in or out, depend on the first page, just to make sure that everything's right. But I just did it first try. Normally on my printer doesn't have any problems. There's been like one pattern that I've had problems with, and it was actually another bunny suit. So yeah, this one though, this one's a solid. This one is actually free online. This is from a company called, I don't know actually how to say it. I always say Aranea or Aranea. I don't know. I feel like I've heard it pronounced a few different ways. And this is actually a company that's like out of business now, but they had like hella corset patterns and a lot of like really great just general like kind of complex sewing patterns. And from my understanding, they went out of business like quite a few years ago, and people have since gotten permission or something to then share all of the patterns that are no longer purchasable online for free. So you never want to be, if you ever see something that says Aranea Black and it's for sale, you're getting scammed because they're for free, which is also something that's like written all on the back of this. I don't know if you guys can see the very slight gray text behind here, and it says free, not for sale, because like if someone tries to steal this and tries to sell this, then it's like, hey, you should have gotten this for free, by the way. So anyways, you can find all the patterns on like Reddit. There's some like Google Drives and things linked to all the different Aranea Black patterns that people have like cumulatively pulled together. So just for there's also just like normal corset patterns and things like that. So yeah, free patterns, by the way. There's another one that's popularly used in the bunny suit space, and that is Katie Cosplays, which she's a friend of mine, her pattern. And that one is for sale on Etsy, and I think it's pretty cheap. But I've tried Katie's pattern, and it just doesn't vibe with my sewing very much. Like, it's just like something about the way the instructions are written and everything. And also just because it is way less panels than this. This one's like kind of like a lot of panels, as you can see here. I just like the way this ends up fitting on me better than Katie's does, but there are lots and lots of people who really like Katie's pattern and it works for them, but everybody is different. So yeah, that's that. That's the whole lowdown, I suppose. And when you're making a corset and or like, well, any corset probably, but especially a corseted bunny suit, you kind of need to make a bunch of mock-ups to make sure it fits your body like to a T. I mean, like, you can do it without that, but it's just not gonna look as clean and nice, and like, it's just not, because the point of these these like bunny suits is they're like really snatching you, and they can make you look sexy as hell. So so every little adjustment matters. So the last time I used this, I think I made at least 2 or 3 mock-ups. I think maybe the third mock-up, what happened was that I used that as my lining. So I ended up not needing to like do a whole bunch of stuff. But anyways, that's the whole rundown. And now that I have, you know, all of this and this is printed all out, I just need to cut a lot of stuff. So I need to cut all of this out. But first I actually need to take my own measurements to find out what size I'm supposed to do, or if I need to vary between some sizes at different spots or something. So, I hate that. And also my printer, I needed to run it through like a little cycle for it to not print. Like, this is supposed to be black lettering, and it's like, I printed just so weird, but that's my own bad. I didn't check. For some reason, all of this lettering is fine, and I printed this afterwards, and it messed up on the second iteration, which is crazy because, like, what the hell? But I do need to take my measurements. Check over here. Okay, so and also my left leg has been like having weird little cramps today, and I don't understand what it is. I need to be doing some like yoga or some Pilates or something. I feel like I'm always a little hurting. Also, I have snack. I have Yogis. It's just like a little gummy, essentially kind of covered in yogurt. I don't, something like that. Ooh, very yummy. These ones are tropical flavors. Pineapple, passion fruit, and mango. Apparently no corn syrup. I mean, just straight sugar then? Probably. Anytime there's anything that is like some sort of like, a lot of times tropical things, the base is always apple. It's like mostly apple. And then because these other tropical flavors are so strong, then it can like vaguely cover the apple flavor. But once you know the apple's there, you taste the apple, which I have no problem with that. But it's just always funny because I look at like how much like, I guess, real fruit is in stuff. And it's just funny how it's always like, hey, #1 ingredient, apple, by the way. Yogurt coating. Anyways, I got my snack here. I also over here have lentils and rice that I made a little while ago. I've been doing this thing where I like make a big pot of food, and then we have little cubes to like help us freeze food, and so then I can freeze it in like individual servings, and it has literally changed the game for me. It works so well for me because I hate having to cook, but like I eat so much better when there's like all these like literal perfect serving sizes of things that are healthy and stuff. It's amazing. Anyways, here's the measurement chart. I brought it over here. Where is it? Okay, and I have a fun fancy dancy little measuring tape that's like, whoa, fun. And then on top of that, all of the numbers and letters, or not, there's no letters. All the numbers are in little hearts. So cute. So freaking cute. I'm obsessed. anyone is curious. Fawns and Porter. This was at Joann's. Rip. Back in the day. And I just was like, retractable, that's so handy, because I having to like manually roll the fucking stuff back up, and that's the whole thing. Anyways. I need to measure bust. And actually bust might add a little bit, just because I'm probably gonna add some padding and stuff just to make everything really va-va-voom, you know? Actually, I'm gonna probably write on the back of... I can write on the back of... No, I need that. Kind of? No. Actually, I can write on the back of this. Okay. Do this. Bust. Under bust. Corset waist. Eh. And this one is like really thorough, because it doesn't only have you measure like around your body, it also has you measure the distance between those things, like up and down, just so you can adjust the pattern like vertically and not just horizontally, because I feel like when I did the Katie Cosplays one, it was only horizontal around me essentially, and then I made the pattern like that, and then afterwards it was like super duper short like on me, and so it was like, oh yeah, make any like height adjustments after, and I was like, well, I had to make a whole mock-up, and it was like way like, it was just so crazy wonky that way. So I was like, I could have also just not read it well, but since I knew how to make a bunny suit, I was like, I'm not gonna read every single page on this thing. So high hip, middle hip, crotch length. Literally, like, this is, I just love how like every little bit is gonna fit you with this. I think oh, this is the Imperial. Okay. So now I will write said things down. Let me know if any of the audio, the music is a good level or anything, because I feel like the music did just get a little louder for this song for whatever reason. So. $35 inches. But that's the metric. This is Imperial. My bad. And then under bust. Wait, where's the little... There we go. Oh wait, that was so wrong. What the hell? How did I get that? 35. And then... Oh! I'm also horrible at remembering numbers, so like literally within seconds of me looking at the measurement and going to grab my pen, I will forget the freaking number I just looked at.
You're all I need.
Five and then 31.5. Okay. Then I feel like I could see the camera. Okay. So then the distance between waist. I need waist to bust, and then waist to under bust, and then waist to high hip, and then waist to middle hip, and then the waist to the crotch. Where is it? Okay, it says waist to crotch length, but then what the hell? It doesn't tell me here where crotch length is, because what does that mean? See here? Because you would think that length would be this way, but for, I don't know, because it's saying waist to crotch length, but I guess maybe that is what the crotch length is. It's supposed to be from there to there. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna guess. Okay. I assume it's to the middle of my crotch too. I don't... I forgot. It's been like 2 years since I made one of these. Or like this pattern specifically. And last time I used some videos to help me. Okay, that has to be wrong. Because I'm at like 14 and all these numbers are in the 20s or the 30s. What the hell is crotch length? Measure yourself first. Subtract the desired reduction from the natural waist for the, yeah. Oh, okay, so that's why. Oh, I see. So I want to know what my corseted waist is. I see. Okay. I think I could do 26 and a half. But it's not telling me where's the crotch length. Measure, okay, waist. Wrap the measuring tape around your torso right under, yeah, measure. Bend side to side with it on your torso. Oh, that makes sense. Measure and record your waist circumference. Wrap the measuring tape around your torso. For the underbust, blah, blah, blah. High hip. Middle high hip. Measure and record the underbust height. Wait, it didn't tell me the freaking crotch. Okay, well, hold on. I'll get there. This is what happens. You gotta read instructions. I'm so bad about reading actual instructions. I'm like, I can just use the pictures. Why are you giving me words? I don't want to read the dang words. When I type in this other one, does it come on both chats? Let's check. Hello. Oh, it does. It sends it to both. That's kind of fun. Ugh. Why can't... Okay, so if me chatting the... Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know. I'm using Stream Elements, and that's where like my little thing is from. The text box here. And I connected my YouTube to the Stream Elements, and it was just like, meh. It didn't seem to matter, but whatever. Whatever, I guess. Okay. Let me keep doing this. Measuring tape around where your bones poke out, or my hip bones. Okay. That is basically what I did. Okay, so now we can do these other ones. Okay. This is why it tells you to do this. Hold on. Let me at least... You want to put like something around your waistline that's going to give you a hard line to be able to measure off of, essentially. So then now I have this piece of elastic here. And it's gonna help me have like a reference point to then measure all of the heights off of this. Okay, so that is waist to bust. 6. Waist to underbust. 4. And then waist to high hip. 3 1/4. 3 1/4. Then the middle hip. Like 6 3/4. Why? What was up with these quarters? 6 3/4. And then, yeah. Then, oh wait, is it supposed to be? Place the measuring tape on the waistline in the front, and then pull between the legs up until you reach the waistline on the back. That makes way more sense. Keep letting go. That's 31 and a half. All right. Oh, shoot. Really smacked into that, huh? Oof. Okay. Another thing that is like a tragedy that happens with some of these, well, it's not a tragedy, but one thing that people need to be very careful of when they're making bunny suits is the diaper butt. I had just written hello because I was trying to test whether or not, like, some of the chat stuff after I adjusted things. Still didn't do anything. But my chat, we went to both YouTube and Twitch, but for some reason the YouTube still isn't showing, and it's a whole thing. Making me angry. Anyways, so now I'm gonna look at this chart with all my measurements and circle all the things that are supposed to be that are my measurements. So then I know what letters to follow. I also feel like I need some like clippies in my hair. Where are all my clippies? I just want like these two little pieces of hair to get back. Oh, one bobby pin. They go on the same side. Looks a little jank. We're good. We're good though. Okay, so now I shall circle all of the things. Okay, so for bust, I am right between a D and an E, but because I'm probably gonna add some sort of like padding, I'm gonna do the E, and then the under bust is also smack dab in the middle, but I guess this isn't really an area you can snatch very much. It's like right in between. Can't snatch your underbust really because you got a lot of rib there. The ribs can't get snatched. 30 and a half, and it's okay. We're gonna go for the E as well, just because it is closer to that. So, and then the corset waist. I wish you guys could see this a little better, but it's basically just like it's a chart where you can't see any of these numbers here, but the chart is so has like all the bust, under bust, all that kind of measurements, and then I'm circling which under either like sizing that I am. So then whenever I am, where's the actual pattern? Here it is. Yep. I know all that. These are all the instructions. All right, so that way each line here on the pattern represents a different size. So if for like, so right here it shows the bust line and the under bust line, and if I was like an E for the bust but a D for the under bust, then as I'm moving between this line and this line, I would want to gradually basically like make a slope between the difference in measurement is basically how that works. So that's why I need to know specifically at each point, each of the major points, what my measurements are. So that's why I'm doing this, because I will forget. Oh, it's not forget. I just think this is why they have this chart here. So, corset waist, I have 36 and a half. 26 and a half, not 30. Okay. And if we're gonna snatch it, okay, we'll try for 25, which is a D, and see if that's too snatched. See if I can breathe. Because the whole point, of course, is you like distribute your like weight a little bit, or like your. So like if you're taking in a lot at the waist, you probably want to like kind of give a little bit more weight at the like hip. So then like if it's like smooshing you down a little, it needs room for somewhere that needs to go, you know, because you don't want it to just be compacting you, because that's going to be really, really uncomfortable. And then so it's comfortable when you allow things to shift and move a little bit. So anyways, high hip, I was at 31 and a half. So I'm going to go up here because I snatched the waist. So we're going to do that. I feel like I'm solidly in the E range here. I'm very much down this here. Middle hip, 35. I said that as I'm like, ooh, baby hip. Okay. But also the fun thing about corsets and like bunny suits and things like that is also people pad themselves out a little bit to really give yourself the curves that you may want. So that's also an option. And then the crotch length, 31 and a half, which is right here. Oh, am I long? Because my crotch is the only one that's the F instead of the E. Anyways, okay, so oh, and then the distance between things. I'm gonna keep that. Oh, and then this is okay, so this is in the lengths. This is the like baseline, what this pattern has right now, which you guys can't read because my freaking ink on my printer is being a boo-boo butthead. But from the waist to the bust for this pattern is 8 inches. But for me, waist to bust was 6 inches. So I will want to take out 2 inches there. Waist to under bust, it says 5 and I'm a 4. Waist to high hip, it has it at a 2. And I am at a 3 1/4. So I guess I'm shorter here and longer on my lower half or something. I don't know how bodies work. And then it has, yeah, because I'm long at the bottom half of me, I guess. Bottom half of my torso, long. Top half of my torso, short. Because the waist to middle hip, it has it at 4, and I am a 6 3/4. Maybe that's why I feel like people say I have long legs. Or I can make the illusion of long legs. Because apparently my torso or something. I don't know. I don't know how these proportions and perspectives work on bodies. Anyways. Beautiful, beautiful. So now we use this. And I can throw this away. I can throw all of these away, I think. Although I do want to keep everything pretty much until I'm done, just in case. I'm not actually throwing these away, but I just don't really need to look at them again. And then these are the grading instructions, but I vaguely know how to grade stuff. So, and this only happens after I do stuff. And then also with the paper, I also hate throwing paper away. And I really, really want to get a blender from the thrift store, specifically so I can make my own paper. Because what you do is you get a bunch of paper wet, and then you blend it in a paper blender. You don't want to use the same blender you would use for like eating. And then you like do a whole thing, and you can put it on a like mesh thing for the water to dry, and then you press it and it's a whole thing. Either way, I know the way in which technically you make paper. I have yet to do it, but I really, really want to make paper. Anyways, so this is all the grading information. Walking the scenes. Oh, yeah. This was for the printing instructions. That's very nice. At the end here it says you can make and sell as many corsets as you like using this pattern. But now we do a lot of cutting. Yeah, I feel like I could get very into making paper. I want to learn a lot about paper making. But I just keep forgetting to look while I'm at the thrift store. For specifically the for a blender, you know? Because that's kind of an essential part of it all. All right, now we do a lot of cutting, right? No, I need to do some adjustments here. Okay. So I'm going to use a more bold color, I think. What color is this? That's black. Looks really fun. You have a bazillion old notebooks under your bed that you think need some reincarnation. Yeah. You want to say, yes, exactly. I want to do my own little, you know, binding and everything with the paper for the stuff. Yeah. It could be so fun. Definitely going to be a future video of mine. Okay. I don't know where I put all my fun colors in this room of 10. I have a bunch of them on the other side of this wall. I shall BRB on this. I'll leave this here for the few seconds I go away in case someone comes in and they're like, wow. Okay, so I have some options. Let me see which of these look most obvious here. So I have like this. This is from Tombow. Some double-sided markers. I was gifted these. Let me see. I guess that one is bold. I'm just trying to see which you can see better on camera. Ooh, pink! Oh, that purple doesn't... like a weird line in the middle there. And you can't see it very well. I'm gonna say no to that one. Yeah, no on these ones. I feel like these ones just... oh, these pens are erasable. Oh, wait, there we go. But I feel like they are lighter. I've ever tried collaging, digital or otherwise. I guess technically sometimes when I do some Instagram like posts that I make are technically like digital collages on like Illustrator that I do. But I've never like I do want to do more of it. Also, I'm moving my camera again. I think I had it that low because it was better when I'm sitting down. So I've done collaging. I think I want to do the pink maybe. And then I also have done collaging, like real life collaging for like a lot of like vision boards essentially. And that's basically all. I feel like I need to scoop my camera again. I'm very particular, I'm sorry. But I haven't done very much outside of those. Other than I did a little bit of junk journaling, which I guess is a type of collaging. Leave this here. Ooh. But I definitely want to do a little bit more digital. Like even the stuff I want to do for my overlay on stream, I kind of want it to be kind of collagey, which is like kind of the vibe of the buttons here. But I want to do more of that because a lot of the everything other than the buttons, like this little like moving thing here and down there, stuff like that was all just stuff I had from my other many years of streaming. Okay, so to the bust, to the underbust. That's just straight E. But I do need to shorten and lengthen. Okay, no, actually, we're just gonna cut it out. I'm gonna cut out the widest one just because it'll be easier that way. It'll be easier to follow these lines for now. Right? When does crotch length come in? Well, maybe down here. Maybe I'm solid. I can do E actually. Okay, so that is this solid line here. Because some of them on the curves, it kind of matters. But yeah. Collaging is a lot of fun. I feel like I need to be a little bit more loosey-goosey with my collaging in real life. Like, I think it works well for me digitally because I can move things around more. But in terms of real life, I'm always like super stressed about like actually gluing stuff down because I'm like, well, what if I can't get it back and then like I'm screwed. Okay, well, where is this line going? A lot of lines converging into one space here. Let's see here. Okay, so it's first solid after this one. But I also feel like having confidence of where you probably put things down on a collage comes with time. That's just all art. Because I feel the same way. Like I've been meaning to like kind of in the morning or in my evenings or both kind of intentionally have some like sketching time because I haven't really done a lot of like sketchbook stuff in a while, even though I really like having a sketchbook and doing sketchbook things. There we go. But I just stress myself out. Do I need a scooch? Which way would I scooch if I was gonna? If I go down like this. You go this way more? Yeah. Is that your main thing that you do at all, maybe? Collaging? Okay, I also super messed with the order of things that came out of my printer. Oh, actually, I'm just doing this fully wrong, y'all, by the way. This is not how you're supposed to put this. Okay. What you're supposed to do with patterns... I always forget. I'm sorry. I just was really wanting to immediately get to the cutting. I just hate how much freaking tape this wastes. But what you want to do has like 1D, 1C, whatever. So you want to make sure you align all of this. And then that one was 1B. So I'm sure we're supposed to go right here. But it's not attached to anything. So there are these little light... little half a diamond right there, And there's the other half of the diamond down here, and you kind of align the diamonds like so. And then you tape this down. Please. This is just gonna be on its own, so like it's not even gonna be anything special. So I usually also kind of reinforce it in the back as well, because I'm gonna need all this space actually. Because when you're cutting it and all of these pieces are not like together front and back, then it does actually get quite annoying. Anyway, so there's one of them. I'm going to move this to the side. And then this is 2A, 2B. And then this was supposed to be the top part of this. Oopsies. But you can just kind of see that's supposed to go right there. I can still align them, but I didn't fuck it up too much. I would have fucked it up more, honestly, if I almost did. Okay. From here on out, I'll do the correct order of operations. Honestly, I just had a brain fart. Truly. But then this is also on its own. It doesn't even need anything. Sometimes it just pisses me off because I'm like, well, it doesn't need to be attached to the other sides. I'll move this over here. So, 2A. There's 2C. And 2D. The 2A will I'll wait till there's more A's, but then obviously this and this. Also, my printer was being weird, and then on a bunch of the corners, it was just like messing it up and putting all this extra ink on it. But then I just kind of shifted the papers around, and it was fine after that, but it got a lot on a lot of these pattern pieces, and it bothers me. Okay. Oh, is this a stomacher? Or no, it wouldn't be the stomacher. This is the bow outer part. Oh, overbust. I also need to get my frickin' boning, which I use heavy duty zip ties. I've never used metal boning because metal boning, for something that I'm going to be moving around in a lot, like metal boning is just a little overkill, unless maybe just like a few pieces of metal boning is from what I've heard is what you'd want to do if you were going to do any at all. But I'm cheap. I try to be as exact with this as possible. Ugh. Okay. So this is another piece. This is going to be, oh, this is, I was right. This is not, so not the stomacher, but it's the, what the backer. This is the modesty panel for the back, because when you have like tie up your back, then obviously in between the like laces you'd see your back. So this is the piece that goes underneath, so no matter how much you tighten loosen, then at least there's a piece of fabric there that is protecting you from being exposed, because the The corseting goes down really, really far. It goes like down all the way down your butt, okay? So you will definitely want a little modesty panel in there. I think I've definitely made it when it was, I like altered mine before so it is a little higher. Just because I do think it looks kind of weird with it coming down this far. And I might do the same, but then also it makes it like easier or harder to get into that way because it can, you know, obviously only extend so much. So we'll see what I do with this one. But I'm going to tape it on this side too because it annoys me when it's not taped on both sides. I'll just be setting everything aside. Okay, so this was the 2A, and here's another A. But I need to wait until there's the 4A. Finish that out. 3B. And here's 4A. There we go. This one does not align quite as nicely, huh? Also, light, so yeah, I don't have this weird harsh line. Ugh. Ah. But I hope people are having fun. I wonder if is anyone else working on any crafty things during this time. I would love to see or hear about it. Why does it feel like I'm... Maybe it's because of this. I'm just saying, like, it really cut off some of this more than it usually does. I mean, it's very misaligned, but I think it might be because of this, like, weird printer mess up. It might have, like, shifted the paper around. And then put this to the side. Okay, and then I have 3A and 3B and 4B. Same situation here. Okay. Ooh, actually, need to make sure to film a little bit of this on my phone for YouTube video. don't have very much friggin' time left. Not in terms of time here. I mean, my freaking phone is dying because my phone is always dying pretty much because I'm so bad about keeping my phone charged. But that's on me. That's my B. Okay. Okay, so now we'll do this piece here. 3A. Oh, I love that for me. What, this is 7B. No, wait, this goes to 7B. I think this goes here. Shoot. Yeah, 6A. Okay. No, wait, that's 6A. What the hell is this? No, that go... What is this? Shit. This is a B. Okay. That's gonna be... This goes here. Okay. Okay, okay. Because this got freaking messed up in my... the freaking printer. Got all kinds of messed up in the printer. Now I don't know what this is. I think this is 7B though. Yeah, because no wait, no. This butts up with 7B. So that means that this is 6B. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm not too stressed. Just a little stressed. Oop. Well, phone died. Just like I said it was. Even though I thought I had more charge than that. Rip. Rip. I need to charge it, but then I think my light is gonna be a little dimmer. Let's see. Okay. At least my phone turns on. Okie dokie. Let me finish these up. My little yogis. I think these are technically for children. Because it's so few come in this bag. But they're so yummy. Okay, so now I have to figure out these. So 6B. I think that this goes here. Yeah, so 5B. I think this is 6B. And then 7B goes down here. This is 7A. Okay. 7B. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this since this is going to be 2 separate pieces and this needs to be down to 8B. But I don't need to be one humongous piece of paper like that. Okay. See here. It's going to be so much harder to align. Love that for me. I don't have this other point of reference. E. Okay, I think that'll be fine. Ugh. Go. we go. There are so many pattern pieces in this. This one's for the B. A. Yeah. Wait, no. B. Okay, so 7A and 8A, and then this goes with that. Okay. And then one thing you definitely need to be very like, because they're like very on top of with this, is that like it is so easy to like lose track of so many of these like pattern pieces that honestly, like, you want to make sure you're like, once you move this onto like fabric, make sure you are making the mark of like making sure you know that this is the freaking piece 3 front, middle, side, and that the underbust line, all that kind of stuff. You want to be doubly sure that everything is correctly like labeled, because it is so easy to get a lot of these mixed up. I'm just fixing something. Okay. Ugh. Okay. And then I'm hoping I'll be trying to put as much of this into a YouTube video as possible. It won't necessarily be a full-on like incredibly, I mean, I'm gonna try and make it tutorial-esque of how to use this pattern, but it'll be a reference point for people using this pattern in the future, because this is a popular thing that people use. Oh my god, I almost out of tape. What am I gonna do when I run out of tape? Oh shit, maybe I should stop doing the backs. Okay, no more backs right now, which sucks. I like to double tape, but I can find more tape, and it doesn't matter what the color of the back is. I can use washi tape for that. Technically, I could use washi tape for either, but... Okay, and this one doesn't need tape. This is just a tiny little piece there. I think I'm near the end. What is this attached to? Oh, this. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, beautiful. Then I'm running out of tape at the perfect time. Oh, I'm not even running out necessarily. We'll see. My god, this shifted so much. What the hell? I'm really excited that this weekend, on Saturday, there's going to be a cosplay yard sale that I'm going to. I love going to the cosplay yard sale and seeing what goodies there are. I usually go and grab like wigs and things. I rarely get like full cosplays. Although I did last year get a little sister cosplay, the BioShock little sister cosplay. I need to take it out a little bit. It's tight specifically like under my arms and stuff, and also it's just like made in a way that I feel like I could add some closures and things in it, so it's just easier to get in and out of, because right now it's like a little finicky. But I do really want to wear that cosplay one day. So, but beyond that, even though I've gone to the cosplay art sale multiple times. Oh my goodness! Oh, whoa. Double alert on screen. I guess I have 2 of them. Hello! Hello, welcome in. People from the freaking Snowflakes stream. How are you? What's up? What were you streaming? Hello, something okay? We are taping together pattern for a bunny suit cosplay. It is a very intensive process with many steps. And this one is honestly the most boring one, but that's why I'm doing it on stream, because otherwise I would just be droning away. Like, this has so many steps in it, because this is something that's like a corseted thing, and like it's a whole bunny suit. So it needs to fit you real good, you know? Ace Attorney. Oh, I've never played an Ace Attorney game. I want to play Ace Attorney. I feel like I missed out on that. Like, I have my DS, so I actually have, like, I want to play some games. This is gonna be Sexy King from Shrek. Yeah, that's why he's right here. So people know now. This is the cosplay I'm working on. Except this really doesn't give you any... I'm not gonna look like that. Oh, I do have this, though. Guess I could wear this. Sparkly. I also thought it's a little too high on my head, but it is what it is right now. I also realize he's not, like, from the where because of the way he wears his crown, then I thought he was bald on top, but he does have hair on the top, which is nice, because I was not going to make myself partially bald. I was just going to wear a white wig, but... You've never played the Ace Attorney games until this year, but you've been sucked in. Yeah, I feel like there's a very big following. And I feel like there's a handful of them on the DS. Am I incorrect? Or am I right or wrong? Because I feel like there's just so many of them, right? Do they have them ported to, like, other things these days? All right, time to get to cutting. This is the part that takes so long. There's so much cutting and a little bit of math, honestly, here. I'm not doing my exact cuts right now. I'm just cutting off any excess paper that I just don't want to deal with. Oh, okay. They have them on Steam. That's handy dandy. I need to have an actual trash can next to me for this paper. I'm just throwing my paper on the ground and I'm like, I'll pick it up later. The king is Fiona's dad. This is the king and queen, is the king of the land far, far away. Isn't that where Fiona is from? I really need to rewatch Shrek, huh? I just don't remember that detail. I've watched it semi-recently. Okay, so. Now with these pieces here, I must relate to my math time. Okay, so I'm gonna circle where the things need to go. So I'm gonna go in with my pink pen. Oh, actually, I'm gonna do a little mark with this, my green, and then I can connect them with my pink. Okay, because I took a bunch of measurements of my body, and then I need to, like, correspond, basically, the way this is gonna work. On every single one of these pattern pieces, and there's a bunch of these, I need to reference my chart of my, like, bust, under bust to waist, all that kind of stuff, points. And then if they are on different sizing, so like on my bust and under bust, I'm a size E, but then my waist, I'm the size D, and so forth. And then these are the lines. There's one here and here. There's like all these horizontal lines here. And so I need on the under bust line to be at an E, but then at the waist, I need to use the D line, but I need to make them gradually go into one another evenly. So I need to make sure I'm doing this all correctly. So it will fit my body quite nicely, hopefully first try. But usually it doesn't go first try. Because then I also need to shorten some sections and lengthen other ones because my upper torso is like long and my... Oh wait, no, my upper torso is short. My lower torso is long. So I need to do all those adjustments. Isn't that fun? I need to adjust my... I have like a vertical stream going on YouTube. Ooh, it's a vertical and horizontal. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I think there's technically a way to do a vertical stream on Twitch as well. But I don't really know how much people use that. Anyways. So, I've been trying to explain as much as possible all along these processes for people, just in case anyone here is ever interested in ever doing any of this themselves. Okay, so my underbust and bust are both E's, so I should be good to stay on that line there. But then my waist, oh my gosh, that one really wanted to hold on. Waist is the D, so that's the dotted line here. And then back to E for my high hip. Then my mid hip is technically not. It technically is back down, but I'll do it for now and I'll see, because I don't like it. It's because I have hip dips. Thank you. But I do kind of want to play around with adding a little bit of padding if I can, so I look super va-va-voom. But I'll have to see on my mock-ups, because so the thing is with the corset bunny suits, or just anything corseted, you want to make lots of mock-ups of like every single step of the way, and like altering your mock-up until it like fits your body very, very exact. Just so you know, because it's like the whole point of it is to show off your body, and then also like if you're like kind of taking in some places, then you want to distribute that into other places. So I'm technically going in like an inch or two at my waist. So then I brought out the high hip, because if anything, it's gonna squeeze all my skin and body, you know. It's just gonna squeeze it this way or that way. So I brought out the hip, and this is already a little higher. So we're gonna see how that all goes. There's certain places you can squeeze, other places you can't. And so like before, I went higher on my underbust because my underbust was kind of between two sizes, and technically I could go right between these two lines on things, but it's just easier to just, you know, have a like, you know, some wiggle room there. Is there any allowance to make sure it's comfortable to move in? That's the thing is with these, you don't want to give like necessarily, the allowance doesn't come in terms of comfortable to move in. Granted, these are all comfortable to move in. Like no time have I ever made something corseted that has been, that like you actually make true to your size. It should not be uncomfortable because it is true to your size. And then also if you're not doing like extremely rigid boning. So I'm going to be using like heavy duty like zip ties for all the boning, and because it's plastic, it is a lot more malleable and moves, and also like especially as it like is technically warmer to your body, then it like has a little bit more like wiggle as well, versus some people do like metal boning, and that is where you're gonna end up uncomfortable, and most people don't actually recommend doing metal boning unless you like, and maybe like want just like parts that are very like super extra reinforced. So maybe like if you want your front line to be like really structured, then maybe you'd put like one piece of metal boning in there. But I've never used metal boning because most of the time the people, like all of the corset people that are like, you know, talk about being actually comfortable in them, they're like, nah. It just seems it's a little extra, a little too much, because actually, the heavy duty zip ties are like kind of some of the closer historically accurate what we could actually get to fake whalebone, because back in the day, people used to put whalebone in their corsets as the boning. But since, you know, people don't whale anymore, and then also just high production of these things, we don't use whale bones anymore. So we use, I think you can technically get like false whalebone or something like that, but it's just fucking plastic. It's just plastic. It's just basically what a heavy duty zip tie is. You can also get like Ridgeline boning, which is like also just plastic, but plastic made a little bit differently. And I actually don't think Ridgeline boning is as structured as, or like it's not as like, doesn't hold its shape as well as zip ties, if I remember correctly, from what people have said, people who know more than me. Thank you. I worked on my I've been working on my thumbnails, trying to get people to click on it, to be like, hey, I have nothing to do, I want to put something on in the background, watch me craft and you'll learn. I guess there's nothing I write about learning about corsets. I only know a little bit. I'm not an expert, but I've done it quite a few times. Anyways, now that I've talked everyone's ear off, I can just keep going. I'm gonna go ahead and mark all of these pattern pieces with this. We'll leave a lurk up here and put the YouTube stream. Oh, thank you. I appreciate ya. I guess I didn't even mention, like, oh yeah, go lurk after stream. Don't worry about hanging out. Thank you. Have a good dinner. Okay, I'm gonna just do the general cutting down of the... Oh, and I can go ahead and reinforce this. This is the one I didn't put the tape on the back because I thought I was running out of tape, but I was wrong. I do have refills of tape somewhere. I just do not know where they are. Hold on. I also feel like there's like a hair that's like stuck somewhere. I can feel it move against me when I go to... Oh, there it is. Yeah, get it out of here. But yeah. There's a bunch of like little things that about corsets and all that kind of stuff that I've learned along the way. I do want to make some actual like bustiers and corsets and stuff. Because I've actually I've made myself multiple corseted bunny suits. Actually, they weren't corseted now that I'm thinking about it. They were all zipper closures. Because I've usually not given myself enough time to properly do the corseted ones. And also corseted ones, like if you have it's just hard to puncture all those holes. I have the like tool to like put the eye on things, the metal thing, but to make the hole to prep for the fabric for it, it's just really annoying, and I don't have like a little like basically fabric specific hole punch thing. But now I do. My friend is letting me borrow the one that he uses for his leather working, and I already did a little bit of work on it. This isn't for this project, this is for another cosplay project, but yeah, so I have some denim here, and then you got some like more canvas material. I like doubled that shit up, put it on this side, and so then there was some extra security on top of the denim, because even though denim is a good like fabric to put like rivets into, eyelet holes, that's what these are, eyelets, but they, you know, you just don't, it's going to be pulling a lot. Well, I guess I don't think this is going to be pulling a lot, but for things that are properly corseted, there's a lot of pulling, and so you want it to be super solid. So I have it reinforced with a canvas thick material here. Anyways, so I was able to have, there's like a little hand thing that you can basically hole punch all the holes in the fabric first to prep the fabric, and then you put the eyelets in. And I don't have one of those fabric hole punchers for myself. I really do need to get one now that I know the beauty of having one. I've just been like literally taking tiny scissors and trying to make tiny little holes, tiny little circle with a tiny little scissor. And that's why I was like, I'm not doing that no more. So yeah, excited about all this because this is gonna be a skirt actually. There's a front and the back of the skirt, but it's gonna be open on the sides, just, you know, being slutty out here. Anyways, yeah. What was I cutting? Oh, I already cut that out. So I'm just cutting the excess paper around because I hate when there's like even just like this much paper to the side. Every little like inch of paper when I'm trying to cut something more exact that's like just like flopping on the side is so annoying. So this is just my initial rough cut around these things. But technically, I think if I was really going really ham on this corset backing with those eyelets and everything, I think people will go over the metal part with hand stitching, and like just fully go all the way around with like hand stitching. So because what happens, I have to bring this back. What happens when you are doing this is like one piece, and then it is connected on the outer side, and it's just like a little like rod that goes through, and then you put a little washer on it, and then you're basically squeezing it, so then this rod then opens up on the other side and it splays out the metal, and then that's how it keeps it in place. So that's what's kind of happening right there. But because of that, then some of this is like just the tiniest bit, like little rough edges. You can't really tell, but when I move my finger over it, then it like catches just a tiny bit on some of the like metal pieces. And when you have like string or ribbon or something going through this, and it's very close to here, then eventually that metal kind of over time will go over those like those pieces of those little like, you know, fibers that are on the ribbon or the string or anything, and it will eventually cut or loosen or like, you know, weaken the certain sections of whatever you are using to like corset up the stuff. So what people will do, that they will do a whole hand sewing like all the way around the like kind of a buttonhole kind of situation, but around the eyelet, just so it's all smooth. And I'm not gonna do that with this, but I'm not sure if I'll do it with this. Depends on how much time I have, because that is a lot of time, because it's hand sewing. You can't really do that with a machine. But I am actually kind of excited to kind of put all this knowledge I have about all of this process and stuff into a YouTube video. Because now that I'm like actually putting things together and I'm like here on stream kind of talking about it, I realize I do have quite the wealth of knowledge. Like when I think about it outside of this circumstance, I'm like, oh no, I don't know that much. I've just made a few and da 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 da. But like, bitch, you know so much shit. What the hell? That's me talking to me. Because I've done a lot more research outside of the amount of times I've done it. I've done it like twice. But I have researched and watched like basically every video I can possibly ever find about the process every single time I've done it, because I'm like, let me just really make sure that I'm gonna get this right. I'm not gonna waste fabric, and I'm not gonna do all this or that. So I am I thoroughly research a lot of stuff before I execute on things. Depending on how much prior experience I have. But like it's very interesting because sometimes I'm like researching in a way that's not like inherently like before I really did any intense wig styling, I like did do research, but I've just like taken in so much wig styling information because anytime I ever see anything about wig styling on, you know, the internet, then I have like folders and stuff that I save a bunch of information about wig styling in. So then it's like all like sitting in my brain for me to one day use. And so then once I actually did kind of do the wig styling, I did bring up like one tutorial and I try to follow it as closely as possible, and I like referenced it a bunch with some of my friends that know more. But then like once I do it once, then I feel like I'm like, oh, that shit's locked in to my memory, because it was like the combination of me actually doing the thing as well as me having so much like just like knowledge sitting in the wings about it prior. Then I'm like, ah, yes, the execution of the thing that I've been trying to do this whole time. Also, I want to take... It's starting to hurt on my head, which is something I kind of have to think about. Granted, I'll have a wig on, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but I might want to like put some sort of like foam right here, because I have worn like crown things before and it like made an indentation on my forehead and stuff before. So I might want to do like a layer of foam at the bottom, so then it's sitting... There's some buffer between this and my head because this is heavy. Ugh. But I'm actually like really excited about the amount of things I feel like I'm going to be trying out. For the first-ish time. Or like the things I'm going to be pushing my skills on for this like DragonCon crunch. Because I feel like one thing I've been doing is getting better at wig styling, and I am finally going to make myself a Miku wig, which I feel like is like how you know you made it to a degree. Like once you're like at a certain level wig styling, I feel like everyone needs to make a Hatsune Miku wig, just because like she's iconic. So that's not why I'm doing it, but I feel like I have the knowledge and experience now to make a beautiful Miku wig, and I'm gonna make it like with interchangeable like abilities for like the little hair pigtails. What the fuck? My brain will be able to come off, and then I can put different pigtails on and stuff if I want to do different Mikus in the future. So that's gonna be very exciting. Okay. Where's my chart? Okay, my chart. Okay, and then also this is the insert. Okay, so we're going to... I will say, the thing about bunny suits, though, when you gotta pee, that's when it's a struggle. It's not the easiest when you have to freaking pee. What was it last year? I feel like I added something on some of mine to make it a little easier. Because right now they have hook and fasteners, or like hook and loops, which I'm like, that's so hard to get to. I think I put snaps. I think that's what I did. That's what people recommend. But honestly, I feel like I almost need like snaps and Velcro because sometimes I can't, when you have to close it back up after you pee, then it's hard to get all the snaps. Or like I need the snaps to be like either moved a little further up or a little further back, because like when it's like direct, this is very specific. Because it's kind of hard to sometimes reach the snaps and do all the snaps well. So I feel like if you had snaps that you could get, at least make sure you get at least like 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 4 snaps, but then you have like the extra assurance of also having the like a Velcro there, like double, to make sure you're really not gonna come out of that sucker. Then I feel like maybe that's what I'll do, just because you can't do just Velcro, because Velcro is too weak. That like I feel like you'll just like kind of like, if you're dancing and moving, then the Velcro will psh, and that's not good. That's really not good. You don't want that. But something like that. I do have a hook and eye ribbon, or not hook and eye ribbon, hook of snaps, like a ribbon of snaps. That shit, I love that shit. That shit is good. Okay, what was I doing? The F right here. We're doing that one. We're doing that one. Put that over here. I can reference that. Stay there. Okay, so bust and underbust. I need to move my little one piece things here. Okay. Bust, underbust. My waist is going to be that. Taking in a little bit. High hip back out to the E. And then the mid hip. What happened last time? I remember the mid hip, I didn't like the line, so I ended up making it all wider. I might do it again. But until then, we will do what I'm doing right now. Okay, and then this I can also just cut out on its own. This little like modesty panel. Because this isn't different sizes depending on anything. It is just one size of modesty. But I also need to see all the interfacing I have. I know I have some interfacing, but I don't know if I have like super strong interfacing. Or not super strong, but like I feel like all my interfacings are very lightweight. Whereas I feel like the modesty panel, you want it to have like a decent weight. Interfacing on it. Oh, you know what? I thought I was running low on tape. I'm kind of very slightly low on tape. I think I might have enough, but when I'm gonna have to lengthen some of these sections, I'm gonna need a lot more tape. Yikes. But we're good. 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 No big dealio. So what I'm hoping we will be able to finish on today's stream, well, it's already 9. I'm hoping I can do any adjustments that I need on this. And then I'm hoping that I can maybe cut out all of the pattern pieces on my mock-up fabric as well. I'm not going to sew anything together today, but I'm hoping I can at least cut out all the pieces if I can, so then I can start sewing tomorrow maybe. Because this is like the most important part, I feel like, of I want to give myself ample time to properly size everything. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these too, since these also are just no big deal here. I have a burp. It's sitting in at the right at like the top of my stuff? I don't really know. It's like right, like a little frog in my throat, but it's a burp. Ready to be released. Where's the line I'm going to? Right there? Okay. Ugh. Oh shoot. Yeah, that one. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but when there's just a bajillion tiny little lines all correspond or like converging in one spot, it's kind of like you need your meticulous eye to really see what's going on in there. Okay. This side is longer than that side, but that's fine. Power mesh for this? Definitely need a cotton jersey. This is the insert. Tiny little piece of insert. Make sure everything that's touching the bits is comfortable, you know? That's what this little piece is. Granted, you got underwear on. Well, some people don't, probably. But I do. When I'm wearing this sucker. Okay. Then I'm going this line here. I'm definitely excited for after DragonCon because I want to do a lot more making like some clothing for myself with patterns, because I feel like despite me doing lots of like cosplay and making a lot of my cosplays, I do not pretty much like ever make myself clothing, like my own clothing to wear in everyday life. But I really want to fix that and try and make myself a handful more things. Like anything else that I've made that is just like normal clothing wise has been like me just randomly making stuff, usually for cosplay purposes, but it's like me using a base that is like based off of clothes that I already have, versus me trying to make myself something new and fun that I don't already have in my closet, you know? So that's kind of what I want to try and do this autumn into winter. I want to try and make a really cool like quilted jacket or something. I have this like cool Christmas blanket that my friend gave me last year for Christmas, and I want to do like a cool sweater situation like with it. And so yeah, I just have like a bunch of really cool projects. Oh wait, I was also gonna mention before I got sidetracked somehow that I haven't ever made myself any like corsets or like bustiers or anything like that, even though I go to the Ren Fair a lot and I own some, but they're all like, you know, the like just random like Amazon ones, or I like borrow some from a friend or something like that. They like I don't actually have very many. I haven't ever made myself some, even though I have I could like sometimes buy things or like buy fabric at the thrift store specifically wanting to make it into some sort of like corset bustier kind of situation. And I just don't. So I really want to explore that. And also there are people who wear those a lot more casually in everyday life. And I feel like that would be kind of fun if I did that. Well, but also, wait, hold on. Corset waist, here we are. Oh wait, that's not where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Also, Ren Fair season will be approaching quickly after DragonCon, so there's all that too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So much going on. Truly. That. I keep that there. The piece of tape right there is gonna go away. Shoot. That's fine. Bus? Where was it? I would love to be able to find other people that are going to DragonCon. I think I did put the tag on Twitch, DragonCon. I guess I don't know. I want to go check under that tag, honestly. Let me check. I really should just keep this little... Actually, I'm surprised it's working. My red light isn't on. It said it was dying earlier today, and then I didn't plug it in. But we're good. There's no problems. How do I get to Twitch from here? Back to Twitch. There we are. I would like to, please, thank you, go to DragonCon tag. It's just me! Ah! I was like, let's see if anyone else has a DragonCon tag. No. About crafting. Okay, okay. There I am. It's kind of fun finding myself on a random page on Twitch. Hee. Okay. Back to cutting. Well, I'm not cutting yet, but you know what I mean. Yum. 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 It's a cute little Korean song. All of the music that I am listening to is from Epidemic Sound. It's like a little paid service thing that I use for my YouTube to have access to be able to use the music. So I've never tried it on live stream. I don't really know exactly how that works out. Maybe I'm not allowed to live stream it. We'll find out. This is my first time trying to do it on a stream instead of just in a normal YouTube video, you know. Oh wait, actually also. Oh. There we go. Oh. I hit my toe. Ow. How do I keep forgetting what line I'm using, even though I've done it like a freaking bunch of times at this point. I'm still like, who? What? Where? One? That one? Then that one? Waist smashed. I'm really hoping, I mean, I know like DragonCon is in like 2 weeks, but what I'm really hoping I can do... Oh, I did change my light. Is that... What was I gonna say? I'm really hoping... I don't know what I'm really hoping. Literally no idea what I was about to say there. Oh my god. ADHD for ya. Just forgetting what I'm saying mid saying it, huh? Okay, so E the bus. E at the under bus. Back out for the heel. I feel like I was totally saying something. I hate when I do that. I was gonna draw the physical line between things, but there's only like one little thing of me moving in a line. So I feel like it's probably fine. It's probably okay. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna do this in order. So this is 7, 6. Okay, that one's 2, 3, and then here we go. See, this is why I was so out of order. 5, 1, and then 4, which I already started cutting before because I had a full brain fart before. Ah. Excuse me. Sorry, burping. Actually. Whoa. Already okay. Ah. Hi. What? Okay. Coffee at 9 o'clock at night. Oopsies. Ugh. Okay, now we cut. Okay. Eh. This is the part that takes so long, which is why I kind of wanted to stream it. So I was like, oh my gosh. There's just so much to cut. And then I still have to then do all this cutting more on fabric. And then maybe even do that multiple more times on all my mock-ups. So lots and lots to do here, you know? Okay, so then this is going... I guess this is why I would have done this line, actually. This is kind of hard to see. Never mind, I do want to draw. I'm going to do it with the pink, so I know where I want to cut. Especially when I'm starting to come down in all this. Good point. And then doing a little whoop like that. Oh wait, actually I was too far in, but whatever. I think I did those two lines because I accidentally did the line in, but we'll see. We'll see if it's too snatched, you know? Technically, I think people do this with like a ruler. But I'm not doing that. Because yeah, technically it would be a much easier gradual thing if I did do it with a ruler. But I also might end up changing the bust line. Because I feel like last time I did this bunny suit, the bust line was like too low. Like it's one of those things where it's like if I lifted my arms, it was like, oh, things are trying to pop out in other places, and that's not ideal. So but I'm wondering if there's any, like, also just like some bust lines, if I like look at other ones that feel maybe more royal or something, then it could be fun to do of a different iteration on a different bust line. Another thing I'm going to be doing on top of this like bunny suit is I'm going to be making a little like hood cloaky kind of thing with like dramatic sleeves that are going to be, it's going to be like a frog hood. All right. Piece 1 cut. You're gonna want to make sure to keep track of all the pieces. Okay. Now I do more of this, actually. I guess maybe it would be helpful to do this on all of them and then cut it first, just so it just and get through everything that I'm going to be doing. But actually, this one is kind of a I'm gonna say maybe I do this one with a ruler, but I don't even know where the closest ruler is. Granted, I could just use any straight edge. There, that's fine. Does not need to be a ruler. Ugh. Ah. Where does this line go? Oh my gosh. When it has like, it does this crazy stuff at the bottom here. Where it's like these two lines are coming together and then doing a thing. And then like all of the lines are converging here. I get confused. Okay, so. Ugh, also my nose is just like a little drippy. And it's pissing me off. Where'd it go? Where are my tissues? Where the heck are my tissues? I had a tissue box. And I literally, it was like here and it was in the way of like the stream camera. So I moved it. But now I have no idea where I moved it to. Ugh. Whatever, I guess I'll just have to have a drippy nose. I think it might be I have a drippy nose because I activated my eczema. What I've realized is that I think my eczema is related to being somewhat... I guess it is just straight up allergies to like possibly certain alcohols, which is crazy. But it doesn't like fully explain, I don't think, because I had eczema when I was a kid. I mean, I guess there are other things that could be causing it. There's histamines basically in like different types of foods and stuff. But there's like very high histamines in like wines and things. And so I like you used to just get like random assortment of eczema essentially, but then over time, or like somewhat recently-ish, I want to say like earlier this year, I started having it like super regularly. Like my eczema just wasn't going away, whereas before, like I said, it would like come and go. And I was like, what the heck has changed in my life that is now consistent that maybe used to not be consistent? And one thing that I started doing was playing D&D. So I'm allergic to D&D. No, just kidding. And whenever me and my girls get together for D&D, because it's a whole girl group doing our D&D campaign, they have wine, and I never really like casually drank or anything before this point. So when I would go, I'd be like, sure, I'll have a little thing, a bubbly or something. But then that's what changed. I like on a like semi like every other weekly basis, I would have some wine, and if I saw them in between D&D or anything, we would also just like have a little glass of wine. And so then I was like, maybe I should just take a pause from that and see what happens. And my eczema went away. So feels like that is probably what's going on there, which also is so sad to one degree because I love a buzz ball. That's the one thing that I do love. Every time I go out and have fun, I be buzzballing. And those are wine coolers. Although I recently, well, like when you buy them at the grocery store, they're wine coolers. But I recently learned that or at least I heard. I think I have to double check this. But if you get the buzz balls from not the grocery store and you get them from an actual liquor store, then it's a different formulation of buzzball, and it is a liquor-based buzzball instead of a wine-based buzzball. So I might not be allergic to all the buzzballs, which is very, very good news for me, because I was going to be very sad if I was allergic to all buzzballs. But I also just need to now do more research on like what foods and drinks and stuff have histamines and what don't, you know, like, because I think there are some foods that also can like do histamine things. I don't really know. I was just trying out stuff, and when I looked up specifically eczema in relation to alcohol, they were like, there's some alcohol that's high in histamines, and I was like, okay. So learning new things about my body. Ooh. Anyways, so I think that is why I have a little bit of a runny nose as well. It's more of like a drippy nose, not like a runny nose. And I think it's because it was all activated. I kind of confirmed to myself the other day that it was the wine, because I intentionally was, to test it, was abstinent from wine for like a whole month or two. Not that it was like particularly difficult or anything for me, because I don't really have wine at home. And then I was like, all right, I'm seeing some friends, so I'll have a glass of wine, or like adjacent. I had a buzzball. And we will see if it activates it. And indeed, things were activated, aka my eczema flared up, and I was like, okay, so it probably is this, right? Probably. So that's something learning about things. And but I need to look at other foods. I need to see if there's other foods and things that are under this like umbrella, you know? Oh, wait, I forgot I need to do the pink line. Otherwise I lose my track, my place. Okay. I wish there was a way for me to have this on here. I don't know how necessary, even though I know it's apparently supposed to be necessary, that I have this like wind screen thing. It's supposed to stop like all the nasty spit, I guess, getting on my mic. But I feel like I can make a custom little cover for my mic or something. I can like sew one that'll make it cute rather than this color. I do want to paint this and maybe cover it in something else that isn't these vines, as much as like the vines are all right, but I feel like I can make it more fun looking. And then I can include this into the mix. Okay. So this one, actually, I know I shouldn't skip. Okay, so, that dot to this dot. I'm gonna start down here because it's easier. Okay, we are going to do this line here. I think it's so cute with this pink. This pink is so vibrant and fun. I really like these pens. These are Papermate Inkjoy gel at 0.7 tip here. I have a few colors of these, like it came in a little colored pack, and I feel like the vibrancy of these pens is really great. I feel like this pink one was in a space that I found this in my, like, this was with a bunch of highlighters, so that makes sense. I haven't used it in a while, or haven't gotten to use this color very often. But this is a very fun and good vibrant pink. I like it. I really want to be like a whole stationary girly, but I really need to like be a journal girly for me, or like somewhat either like sketching or like something along those lines kind of girl if I'm gonna be a stationary kind of girl, you know. And I want to be. I do indeed want to be. I am thinking that maybe not this week, but next week, or maybe I should just start it. I shouldn't be like, oh, let's start on Monday, but let me finish my freaking sentence before. I want to do like a media deprivation week. I've been meaning to do it for a while because I did the Artist's Way a year, 2 ago or something like that. And in the Artist's Way, for those who don't know, the Artist's Way is a book that is like a weekly kind of like it's like I think it's like 2 months or 3 months long kind of program that's supposed to like encourage your like be like your most creative self to a degree. It's supposed to bring out like creativity and make you make moves towards your artistic goals. And so when I did do it the only time I've done it, I actually started doing all my YouTube stuff that I had been wanting to do for years and years and years. So it did work, and because I'm still doing it, I'm still on that path. I'm still working on it. Hello, YouTube, for the people who are ever watching on YouTube. So I've been making my YouTube videos and stuff, but one of the most beneficial weeks out of like the multiple like week program, because a lot like each week the author kind of had you doing different like challenges or like thinking of different things along the way, like every week, and one of them was a media deprivation week, and I was like, that's gonna be so hard and so crazy. And like the whole point is that like basically if you are constantly intaking art or anything, because it's media deprivation in the way of like even like books and things like that, like no nothing, no music, no books, no like even like podcasts, all of that, just silence, lots of silence, and you and yourself and the people around you. And I was like, that's gonna be so hard, oh my gosh. Oh wait, I didn't actually finish my Can you tell I have ADHD? Talk to the trees. You make art, you do stuff, you do the thing you're trying to do. No books. But yeah, so the whole point is that without taking in all this information from other artists, other like things, you are just using your brain to make the thing you want to make. So instead of intake, you outtake or output. Instead of input, you're doing output, because most of the time we are so used to having so much input, like constant input, especially now. Like she wrote the book in like the early 90s or like late 80s or something. So they had a lot less input than we do now, even. So maybe it was even before the 80s. I don't remember when she wrote that book. But yeah, you're just like, so now our input is like crazy high, higher than like it's ever been in all of history, I feel. And so the whole point is that you finally utilize all of that stuff that you've been inputting into your brain. Where is it? Lamau typing in YouTube chat. What's funny about typing into YouTube chat? Nobody reads this. Oh, people on Twitch, by the way, there's YouTube chat. I tried to make it show up on the screen, but it's not. It didn't do the crossover thing. This is only my second time doing multi-stream, so. So someone over on the YouTube chat said, no books. What do you even do for a week? Talk to trees? So that's what I was answering. Sorry, forgot that everyone can't see that. Yeah. I'll figure it out. I thought that I had figured it out, but it didn't do the thing that the tutorial said it was gonna do. So annoying. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the point is that you output instead of input. And last time it actually was not nearly as hard as I thought it was gonna be. I still listened. The only thing that I gave myself permission to do last time was to still listen to podcasts when I went to sleep, because I sleep to things. I need something in my ears when I'm going to bed. Otherwise, I mean, this might be something I could wean myself off of, but not in the span of a week. But because my brain is too active at night and I won't sleep because I'm just thinking of the million things that I could be doing, should be doing, all that kind of stuff. And I literally will stay awake just thinking of all of those things for hours. So I know my brain is capable of just doing all kinds of stuff. That's all, honestly, sometimes when I think of my best ideas is like, you know, the people say shower, but sometimes randomly I'll wake up in the middle of the night and my like podcast isn't playing anymore because I put it on a timer. So it's not like a podcast is playing all night long. There's like ways to turn off like things that you're listening to. So I put a sleep timer on, and it's usually for like 45 minutes just to make sure that I'm asleep. And that's usually a lot of times I fall asleep within like, 10 minutes or whatever. But anyways, the last time I tried to do the media deprivation, I did try to do it without listening to stuff. And I like tried to like do something kind of in between. I was like, well, what if I like go to bed listening to like meditation or something? And no, because like part of meditation is like kind of like being at one with your thoughts and letting thoughts go and pass on by. And oh, it was just like actually was key. I stayed up so long, and then like before I gave in, I tried it like 2 or 3 nights of trying to listen to like a meditation or just like sounds or something. And both of those times I stayed up at least an hour before I was like, all right, never mind, I'm putting on a podcast. And then I put on the podcast and I fell immediately asleep. And so I was like, I feel like sleep, it defeats the purpose of me trying to output art during my hours that I'm supposed to be awake if I'm freaking tired because I didn't freaking sleep. So I was like, this one, I'll give myself this. That's my only exception to my media deprivation, is that I can listen to my podcast when I go to bed. Another thing I've seen people do is that, like, it's a type of media deprivation to a degree, except for in the beginning, I guess, of the media deprivation. If you have any desire to scroll, you're only allowed to scroll or watch things, scroll through things that you've already saved. So basically, like, it's stuff you've already seen before, and apparently you saved it because it's like, it's supposed to inspire you to do something, or it's like a tutorial of what you should be doing and all that kind of stuff. So then it's one of those things where I feel like I would want to try and do a longer media deprivation. We did want to do like a whole month, but it's really hard to do. But I feel like I could add that in or something where I can just media deprive. Or like, if I have any desire to scroll, then I am only allowed to look at that. But then the thing I have to do is like, if I saved it because I wanted to do something and it's actionable, then I have to do said thing that I saved, That's my own adjustments. Because the Artist Way requires a lot of like adjustments for modern day, and also adjustments for just like in general what I feel like whatever your goals are. I feel like that's the healthier way to do it, since it was written in a different time. Okay, I'm actually really hungry, and that would make sense because I haven't even finished my... I guess this was lunchtime. Was it lunchtime? I feel like it wasn't like lunch. It was like a late lunch. But I guess now it's past dinner, so... Anyways, this is lentils. Ow. I do wonder if I should be streaming in like an art category instead of like the makers and crafting on Twitch. Mainly because I feel like no one comes to the makers and crafting section of Twitch. Or not very many people do. And a lot of people go to the art section. But like, I feel like maybe if I was doing something else that I feel like I could call art. Like right now I'm just like cutting out some patterns, so it's not art yet. Once I start sewing, that's art. This is the preparation for the art. Okay. Oh, that's better. Oh wait, I forgot I put this piece of elastic around my waist. So I had a marking point for me to measure a lot of stuff off of for this pattern. And I forgot it was there. I was like, why does it feel like there's like some pressure on one spot? That's why. Here we go. My bad. Okay. Ugh, I hate how my nose is drippy. Oh, I didn't do the marks on this side. Ugh. There we go. Did I do all these? Okay, yeah. First, I just only did it on one line. I just didn't do it on both on that one. Okay, so. But yeah, I've been real bad on my phone lately. Granted, when I'm like actually doing crafts and like streaming and stuff, it forces me off my phone, which is why I have always like really appreciated streaming and stuff. It has honestly been, I think that's like one of the reasons why like streaming is kind of like one of like a really good part of my mental health back in the day. Like I didn't realize it was like supporting my mental health because it like keeps me off my phone. I'm gonna die over the fact that I do not know where my freaking tissues went. I feel like it's probably, oh my god, it was, I was literally, I said, I swear, I bet it's right in front of me. It is. I put it up on the ledge for my window over here, but I moved it to the side, so. Ugh. Whew. I want a cuter hair clip. I swear I had one. I have a bobby pin in, and it's not as fun. I know I have some fun hair clips. I just don't know if they're... Also, I need to organize my like trash cans better. I have 2 trash cans in here, but neither are well easily like reached. No. What word am I thinking of? Easily. Not reachable. Reachable? It's reachable. Yeah, but that just isn't, it's not the right word. Anyways. I can't reach either of them from my desk, which is pointless because this is where I'm usually making the mess. Okay. Let me continue this line. Okay, so this goes here. Yeah, but I definitely have some things about my whole setup here that I need to improve a little bit more. Like this mic, I feel like I can still do something better, just so in the way. But I've had this mic for so long and it's a nice expensive one. I feel like I could probably get a better like arm for it because the one that I have is kind of old and creaky. And it's also like it's kind of jank, honestly. I feel like it was like one of the cheapest one I could find back in the day since I spent so much on the actual mic and everything. Why does this sound kind of like Christmas music? I don't like it. I'm gonna swap. Next song. It felt too Christmassy. Does it sound Christmassy too? There were some of the songs I was looking through because I made this like playlist myself. I did shuffle it, right? It is shuffling. Oh, there were some songs that were like very Christmassy. I intentionally didn't do those ones, but I guess maybe there were a couple that slipped through. I wonder what, like, I know that, like, obviously people who know about music know what makes a song sound Christmassy, because that's just, there was just instruments. There was nothing else to make it be Christmassy other than the fact that it just felt like it. So like what's going on there musically that makes a song? I mean sure it's just like has to do with they like all use similar type of scale or something is what my guess would be with my very limited knowledge of music from high school band. Okay. Ah! I love lo-fi music. I really have been wanting to cosplay Lo-Fi Girl one of these days, and I have the stuff to do it because I had meant to do it a little while ago. It sounds okay over on YouTube. It sounds Christmassy when it tastes like eggnog. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. If anyone, I thought you were gonna give me, you would have an insight on what it actually is, because you are music theory man. Also, did you notice you're modded on YouTube? All right. Sometimes it's so fun. These like the way that some like when you're making. Okay, let me get my sentence together before I start speaking. Pattern making, I'm sure in anything other than even not sewing. Oops, I didn't move it out. My bad. Is so cool to me because you see these like dramatic curves and stuff, and like when you then translate it over into fabric and like and how it like all these like 2D things become like a cool like the perfect 3D amalgamation is my like favorite thing. I feel like some people are just like naturally a little bit more inclined to being able to imagine like the 2D things in a 3D space, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like math or like trigonometry. Kind of, yeah. I don't really know. Like that helps. It's like that same kind of part of the brain, like that visualization of things. But it's something that I've always been quite good at, being able to like see these like all of these pieces in their like flat, you know, little shapes, and then immediately think and see how it all gets put together in my brain, and being able to see it in 3D instead of 2D. And for some reason I can visualize that in my brain, but you know, so, cause what's the thing where you can't like visualize things? Like your brain it's like the way people imagine different things. Like some people don't see anything in their brain. They like, it's just thoughts. You know what I mean? It has a name. But either way, I am on like in the middle section of that scale. So I can't see, I'm like kind of bad at seeing things that are like in extreme detail. Like if I have to imagine it to the like littlest detail, it doesn't like work like that in my brain. I can't see that, but I can see like the general shape. But maybe that's why I'm good at it, because I can only like seeing things in 3D in my head, because that's all I've ever been able to see with most things, you know, like the general shape. But I know like the concept, you know, because like when I'm reading and like authors go in like extreme detail of what is like being seen, then it's not like I'm like bored by it or anything, because it does help inform me, but it's not like making my own visualization more detailed, because I like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it is and it isn't. Very curious. Brains be crazy, y'all. I wish you guys could see my floor right now. There's just so much paper on the ground. Oh, I skipped 4. Ugh. 4 is right here. Ah, moth! Where the hell did this moth come from? Where did you come from? Anyways, there's a moth in here now. Gonna stay on that line. Oh my gosh, y'all. Also, yeah, don't mess with the mods, you know? There are some strict rules sometimes, depending on what it's about. Yeah. Dot here. I didn't do the dot on these because that one. Okay. Because of this one, I did some funky stuff. My brain short-circuited for this one. But we're good, we're good, we're good. It'll all be fine and make sense later. The thing I'm not as excited about is shortening and lengthening some of these sections here. Oh, wait, I didn't continue the pink line. Oh my god, why do I keep doing this? My brain is not at full capacity, huh? Huh, maybe it's because I don't drink enough water. I guess I'll drink some coffee about it. I do need to actually get some water though. What I always do, I'm like a freaking toddler. And I just end up like chugging water essentially. At like the end of my day, or sometimes in the beginning, or if I ever work out, I'm just like just like full, just like a full glass of water, and then I'm like, wow, that's great. Now I don't need to have water for another few hours. That's how my brain works. God, which line am I following? What the hell? What the helly? Okay, I think that one. Ugh. And then I need to continue the line here. Do, 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 do. Oops. There we go. Oh, my leg is falling asleep. Oh my god. Ow, ow, ow. I need to move my stool. Ugh. Okay, we're good. Maybe. Ow. I need to stretch after this. Am I gonna have time to cut stuff out of fabric? Ugh. Such a hassle. Well, I guess I need to get my cutting mat, and I need to find my rotary cutter. I don't know where any of my stuff is, and it's sad. Because I did a big, kind of like redoing my big craft space that's in our garage, and a lot of my sewing stuff was out there, and then we had to box it all away to then do the changes and then bring stuff out. But the problem is we never fully finished all the changes, so things are still like half in boxes, half not in boxes. So there's just some things where I don't know where they are, like my freaking rotary cutter, even though it's kind of like a very important part of my sewing. I know I have my cutting mats and stuff, although one of them is super warped, and it makes my life also worse. My sewing life. Oh my gosh. Okay. More Korean music. I try to do mostly songs with no singing in it, but I think I had already made, there was already a playlist that I had started making years ago on this thing. I didn't realize I had it. And so I left some things on there, and I was like, if anything, I guess it can be in another language. That's fine. Because it's so quiet in the background, right? It should be. You guys need to tell me if I need to make it quieter. Ooh, you were watching a movie. What were you watching? It must be so funny for the people on Twitch being like, this girl's talking to herself. Like, she's like pretending that people are asking her questions and saying things. They're like, there's something wrong, something going wrong, because I can't see the freaking YouTube chat. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. That's the second? No, that's the first one. First Fantastic Beasts movie. They get worse and worse. That first one's alright. Although, I don't really consume anything. Okay, first one, yeah. I think I only watched the second one after that, and then there was another one after that, and I was like, no. And then also, all of J.K. Rowling's bullshit was getting worse and worse. So I was like, definitely not gonna go see that shit then. Her building her being evil, literal evil person. Like an evil villain. So. But I'll sail the seas sometimes. Hot take, they should have made the one movie and left the ending. Yeah, no. I thought I didn't even think that they were going to make a second one. Your brother dropped the idea of having Gilderoy Lockhart's voice actor voice it. Because oh, a documentary type thing, like about the monsters and like creatures in the Harry Potter universe. Maybe. I feel like that. But they just need to... J.K. Rowling needs to be not a shitty person. Or just leave this planet. Because they just gotta stop making her more money. That's what I'm saying. Like, she does not need any more money. So she's just doing evil with her money. Because as much as I liked Harry Potter growing up and stuff. Well, I didn't even like Harry Potter. I mean, I liked Harry Potter growing up in terms of like the movies and stuff. I never read the books until I was like later in high school because I didn't really like reading. So I have like attachments, but not like as much attachments as other people, but I still like, you know, was in the depths, deep. But yeah. She's just, I don't understand. Yeah. It's just so crazy to me how someone can be so like just like so spout so many things that are just so opposite of like the messaging that they provide in their own works of art. Like they're like unaware of like such weird whatever. I will say the only time that like I think of Harry Potter really is like Christmas time, because that's when I feel like I used to ever, when I was younger, we would all go watch, or we would watch them. But if I ever feel the urge, like I said, I don't do it in a way that makes anyone any kind of money. Yeah. Use the Hogwarts house's quizzes to develop your OC's personality, and that's the only connection you have that fandom anymore. I feel like there's even like so many other ones now, so many different personality quizzes and things. Yeah, no, I was boring. I was Gryffindor back in the day, but I feel like that tracks. But yeah, full clarity though. We highly support trans rights. You guys can't tell, but I have a little pride heart sticker here. Huh? Who? The Hufflepuffs? I didn't say nothing about them. I thought I was Hufflepuff for a while. Before they had that like official like test thing. I'm saying that it's boring to be Gryffindor. To me, that's boring. Because I feel like a lot of people, I feel like that's like the bias of the quiz. I feel like a lot of people ended up with Gryffindor. I think I wanted to be a Ravenclaw. Oh. I just was like, I'm gonna just be what all the main characters have. I feel like all my favorite characters were not Gryffindor, so. Guess I don't know if it was necessarily trendy. I think it's just what the main characters are, so the people, like, most people want to be like the main characters to some degree. So oh my god, this is why I want this mic to be, I don't know where I want the mic to be. I want to get one of those little, like, pop star mics. Here we are. Oh, actually. Ugh. Just had to set up my filming. Wait. Another burp. Sorry. Yeah, no, because since I'm also like partially filming some stuff for YouTube video in the future, I really have to be thinking of all the things while I'm crafting all this DragonCon stuff, because I'm hoping I can make a YouTube video for like not like every single cosplay I'm doing, but every single like bigger and like cosplay that I'm doing, where like I have to do like wig and like make something more intensive for it and that kind of thing. Because I think, oh my god, why are there so many bugs in here? I mean, I'm in the garage, but yeah. But I would like to try my best to do as many YouTube videos from all of my crafting as I possibly can. I'm thinking that my next video is going to be about mending. Oh. I can do King Harold's hair. I'm just going to do white hair. I'm going to have like a little bit like shorter hair probably. But I looked at photos and he's not bald on the top. I thought he was because of the way his crown is, but he's not actually. He just, you know, no, I have worn a bald cap before, but it was too much effort. No, there's hair on the top of that head from another angle. I've seen some photos that are from different angles. It's just all like his hairline is further back than his crown, so. Yeah, I also thought he was full, like the bald with the hair on the sides. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, I don't think... Why would I think otherwise? That he was not bald with a... bald on top, because you don't really see it. So, like, it makes sense to think that. But... no. He actually has hair up there. This is just a pretty straight line, so I'm not really too worried about this one. Oh, no. We'll do a little. And then this. Okay. I mean, even if he was, like I said, even if he was bald at the top of his head, I wasn't going to do a bald cap, especially because I'm already doing a gender bend and everything, and it'll be really obvious who I am otherwise still. Like, there's gonna be so many indicators to point out, like, who I'm cosplaying, that it's not gonna be that important. I feel like what exactly, for me to not have his exact hair, even though I think it would be funnier if I did do like some sort of bald cap situation. But last time I did a bald cap, it just wasn't like, especially for a party cosplay, because last time I wore a bald cap, I did it proper, like really, really well, like with makeup and everything, like not like, because I did Aang from Avatar: Last Airbender, but I did sorry, almost dropped paper. But I did Ember Island player Aang, so it was girl Aang, but she still wears a bald cap. So I did a bald cap, and I for the first time ever, and I, like, you know, did all the stuff that even, like, you know, all the drag queens and things like that, they like all their tips and tricks for how to do stuff. And I even had a friend of mine who does drag be like, that's a really good bald cap for, like I would have thought you've done that many times. And I'm like, he, no. But it did take me like at least an hour. And it was also party cosplay then. And so when it just wasn't worth it, because while all my friends were like already in their party cosplays and doing the partying, then I was still like, you know, trying to put this bald cap on and make it look really, really good. And the time into it was like so intensive. Ugh. And I also don't even have that many photos from me doing it either. I have some. I do have some photos, but they're like in the depths of my phone somewhere. But I don't have like really nice photos, which sucks because I did put so much effort in that. So, yeah. Anyways, we cut out all the pieces. All the pieces are now cut. Let me get rid of all these pens. Too many pens. Ta-da! Okay. Oops. Bobby, what's being clicked on? Something's being clicked. Anyways. It took forever, but here we are. Okay, so here's all this. These are these pieces. Ah! Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Oh. No, I feel like there's one of my Xbox controllers over here, and I think I accidentally hit it, but it made a noise after, and I was like, wait, I didn't even touch it again. All right. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. All the pieces. Ah, this part is so tedious and boring. And then now I need to cut it out of fabric. This is the only problem with the current streaming setup that I have right now, is that there's not really much moving this camera right here, the overhead camera, because I wish it had a little bit more maneuverability, so then I could like maybe point it towards like the ground because that's my preferred way of cutting fabric, is on the ground. I don't have like a really good cutting table or anything yet. But so that's the only thing. I can only do crafts on stream that can be done top down, you know? So that's okay, but I just was hoping, you know, that there could be more. I'm trying to think of other things. So let me think. I'm gonna draw the ideas I have for. Okay. King Harold. So what's gonna kind of happen, I need to get my phone too so I can pull up a picture. I don't have the picture like on my screen, but it's not like his full body, so I would prefer to be able to see the full body of him while I'm trying to do this sketch. King Harold from Shrek. There's this face, this picture. That's kind of funny of him being like, huh? Huh? You guys know my ring light is there. Huh? Anyways. Huh. I need to get the little gif of that cat. The honk cat. Okay, so we do. Actually, I need a cape for this too. Shoot, I forgot. There's double caping up. So what I'll do is actually, I can do the base here. I'll do a body. Oh my god. Having performance anxiety. What's happening? A little sketchy poo here of what this is gonna look like. Vaguely. How long are the legs? Was this where crotch is? Something like that. The knees are kind of there. And the feet is always what get me here whenever I have to do this. Stop that. I need to find some good shoes for this. Oh wait, the torso looks crazy now. The proportions here are not ideal. I haven't sketched a person in a while, okay? Oh my god, and the arms are so... Is that normal? Okay, yeah, no, that's kind of around the spot. I just think of it... I drew the, like, shoulders way too low. We're fine, it's fine. We've got, like, little, random little mitten hands. Whatever. Okay, and then we'll do another color. This is blue, just like his thing. I'm gonna do a little like, I will do a little fluffy thing here. Just like his. Do a little fluffy. I have really good fluffy fabric for it as well. Is it here? I had the fluffy fabric in here. I think I moved it. For what reason? I do not know, because I was going to need it. Okay. So then, bunny suit. Ideally, there'll be a little bit more boob window situation happening between these things, you know? And then it'll start caping, you know, here. Actually, no. It'll be caping in the back. But either way, so there'll be some poofs on the here. Like such. They'll be attached to the cape situation. Kind of. And I don't know what kind of sleeves. I don't want his same kind of sleeves. Stop that. I feel like I could go get markers for this instead of pens, but... Stop it. I don't know how to... I swear, there's something changed on the iPhone settings, and I used to have it so, like, it stays on a lot, and then it does not do that no more. Anyways, yeah, so there's that bunny suit situation here. And then there's gonna be the little stripe here. I don't know if I want to... I guess I should do a belt. He does have a belt. So I guess I can do a belt here. And then I'm not going to do his stripies. It's just going to be maybe just white tights. And then I'm going to have little heels. Like such. And this is the vision. Figured not everyone knows exactly what the vision is. So this will be something. And then yeah, there'll be like the little gold spots and everything will still be there. I'm gonna have to like emboss my fabric or something. I need to figure out what I want to do there. I also have a Cricut. I can technically Cricut stuff, but I really want to try to emboss some velvet. And I have like a velvety kind of fabric for this project. Well, I already had some actually. And then I kind of want to do some sort of like dramatic sleeve that feels a little more royal. I don't know if I like it'll be out of like a chiffon or something, maybe something similar tone to this, like off, because like he has like two tones of like sleeves going on with two different kinds of fabric. But I would think that maybe I do something different, and these two are the same type of velvety fabric, and then I have some kind of like fabric like that or something. This is not, I don't know if this is a good example of what I'm trying to say here. You know, like it's like very flowy, like such. Kind of, maybe. And then he's got his white hair, and then I have brown. We'll just do a little. I might do like a little like curl or something on the wig. I don't really know, because then that's too Farquaad-esque. So I don't know. I don't want it to be too Farquaad-y. You know? That's kind of what's going on there. Bow, 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 bow. There's that. That's kind of what we're doing here. And then later, what's going to happen is that I'm going to swap that out for, let me see if I can just, let's see if I can do this well enough. There's that. There's that. Also, this time I'm just gonna keep arms out so you can see a little better. Doing the upper section. Okay. So, what's gonna happen is this is gonna stay on. Like so. But I'll do this too. I'll do the hair. You can all imagine what's going on there. So, and then do this and do that. But instead, oh, you gotta log off. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you, people over on YouTube and on Twitch. I appreciate you all. Oh my gosh. I also didn't realize there were people in the other chat too. Yes. Concept and concept drawing. Hello, hello. I was so into my drawing, I wasn't even noticing there were... But yes, see you guys. See you next time. Maho Shoujo. Doinky. Okay, so then what I'm doing is then I will, part of the way through the night, change into I want there to also be a crown on the outside, but maybe it would have to be a fabric crown because I don't think I'll be able to still wear the same crown. So maybe it needs to be I can make one out of fabric and just attach it to the hood. Anyways, and this will be like a little like bolero, I think, situation. Which also, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but this is also going to have sleeves that will be equally like royal and poofy or something. It'll be a kind of a mimic of the sleeves of that he had, maybe. I don't know if I want it. I feel like there's a type of sleeve I want. I need to go look at different sleeve types. You know? I just want I want there to be, it's just to be a fun transition into frog, but I don't know. I wish there was like, I've thought about some possible alternative ideas. It won't, this hood probably won't be this massive, but that's kind of the concept that we're doing. You know? What are the other types of sleeves? Let me see this real quick. I want to look up some different sleeve types. I want it to be dramatic. I want it to be a dramatic sleeve, but I don't want it to be... Like, I have other friends who are going to be doing, like, more, like... Because, like, the dragon, she's going to be doing, you know, like, Batwing looking things, but I feel like it'll look kind of similar to this. Let me look up, like, sleeve types on Pinterest. Let's see. I'll do long sleeves. Long sleeve types. Okay, maybe also not that. Okay, so I think she's gonna be doing something like that, maybe? But that's also kind of what I drew, huh? Ooh, okay, what if I do... What if I do patterns? I think if I wrote patterns, then they'll be different. It'll be a little better. Ooh, that's royal AF, huh? Maybe that'll be 2 in the way, and that's a lot of fabric. I don't have that amount of fabric either. Ooh, that's kind of... I can't click on that because that's like a shopping thing, but that looks frog-like. I could also have it come back in. It doesn't... I can have it like all poofy, I suppose, as well. What is it? The kind of sleeve that... None of these are what I'm... okay, so like if it came back in like that and it had the little cuff there, I feel like that could maybe be a good idea, because that is kind of what happens. I can't click on that either because it's a link to a thing. Honestly, Pinterest can be so annoying. How much time is there before the con? It's in 2 weeks. But I can make this. I can make a hood in like a day, maybe 2. And then this will also take me like 3 or 4. I think I can get this done in a week is basically what I'm saying. Ooh, everything I want to click on is a link to something. I've made a frog hood in like a few hours before. Not with the sleeves, but just the hood part I've made in like an hour before. I mean, it wasn't... Actually, yeah. I actually don't know what fabric I'm using for my frog hood. Ooh, that. Okay, so maybe like that. So I think maybe they have to come back in to make it feel a little royal. Once again, can't click on that. That's an Amazon link. Freaking annoying as heck when it's like this. Ooh. And this one, I might make it a little like sheer or something. Oh wait, well, actually no, I have the fabric. I'll show you my fabric that I have for the frog. I might mix this with some other fabric, depending on, because I only have, it's like a bunch of like rectangles that of like they were curtains, but like very weirdly shaped curtains, long rectangles at the thrift store. But it's got this like pattern on it. You see that? And it's like a shimmer, so it's like in real life it's not like immediately obvious, but it's just such a fun little like shimmer. It feels very royal and it holds its shape pretty well. So I feel like this will be really cool as the frog hood situation. But what I'm thinking is going to happen, because I don't think I'll have enough for this section, but I have some sheer green that I think I could mix in with it. So then like maybe like like one of the poofs could be sheer and then one could be this green and then the other sheer, so it kind of like go between the two. Am I out of music? Or is it just quiet? Oh, it just paused. Why did it do that? Anyways, so yeah, this is this. I also have this darker green, which I maybe could mix with it or something. But this might be like a lining or something, because it'll be the inside of the hood and I want it to maybe be like dark. Or make it pink on the inside like his mouth. Maybe. Maybe. Ugh. So yeah. That is said concept, I suppose. I'll take a picture of this, or a video as well. I also have a couple of frog accessories that I like have acquired over the years from cosplaying other frog related characters and frog creatures, I suppose, or frog like, or just frogs in general. I've done a lot with frogs actually. Really good YouTube thumbnail. Hold on. Very aesthetic, what I have here by accident. Fun. But yeah. Oh my god, it's already almost 11 o'clock. Yeah. Alright, I guess we will be ending stream then, because this is all I really have time to do. I need to still like alter the pattern a little bit, but it's just a little bit. And I also have to clean the freaking floor in here covered in paper. And not like the money kind of paper. Sad. But I think today's stream went pretty good. I mean, other than I still didn't fix the chat thing. Thought I fixed the chat thing. The chat thing was not fixed. So I'll have to look more into how I'm supposed to combine the chats, or that like the information gets to the right place, that my overlay situation stream elements knows that it combines the things. I don't know. Stream elements is so annoying. But yeah, productive stream for sure. I am happy with how it went, and I'm hoping that, like I said, I'll do some more of these. I think the next one I'm gonna do might end up being a wig styling stream. I have a Miku wig here, and I need to do a lot of crimping to the wig, and I need to start on some wig stuff, because wig stuff also takes a little bit of time of like setting a lot of things up with like glue and then having to wait for the glue to dry and all this sort of stuff. So I want to be able to like have wig prepped so I can go ahead and go, because also there's a lot of prep to it where I have to crimp all of the hair, and that takes a while, and it's a whole thing. Oh my god, I have so much to do. I really need to fucking get my shit, and I have so much to do. As I'm like starting thinking, I like was even telling you like, yeah, I think I can make this in a week, but I was like, but some of the other plans I have, I think will take longer than a week. So then I've always pulled through. I've always pulled through. I know how much I can do and how much time I have, and I'm confident I can do the stuff I have to do can be done. So that's all that matters. And because I've done it before. Yeah. So did it pause again? Why the hell does this music keep pausing? Oh, it's at the end of the thing, but it's on shuffle. The point of the shuffle if it doesn't do the shuffle. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Hopefully this might be the weekend stream. I'm thinking that maybe I will stream on like Sunday or something. That'll be my next creative stream, because what's today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah. So how many cosplays? Yeah, so let me pull up my stuff. I have a lot of cosplays I'm making, as I do. I have King Harold. I do want to do Project Hail Mary, but I think that I have the stuff for, because I was going to either do straight Project Hail Mary, was still gender bent version of Project Hail Mary, which that one I already have a red jumpsuit already, just like I have that. But I also was hoping I could do a Barbie or like a Ken version of it, and find a pink jumpsuit, or get a like white or tan jumpsuit from a thrift store and dye it pink, so then I could do like an I Am Knuff Ryland Grace. And then I wanted to bedazzle a Rocky. I wanted to like have one of my friends 3D print me a little Rocky and bedazzle it, but I'm probably not gonna have time to do that. So even though that one would be really fun, I already have this other stuff, so I think I'm just gonna do straight Ryland Grace fun, just because it'll be easy and comfy. And that's gonna be one of the evenings, so that one I don't really have anything to do for it. Then Harold, and then my fawn from Tinkerbell, which I have worn before, but it needs to be updated, because when I wore it, it was kind of like a lot of issues came up as I was wearing it, so I need to kind of like do a lot of fixes on that. And I think that will take about half a day to do those fixes. It's not like a full redoing of a cosplay. It's just like a fixing and like adhering things to like something that's a little more structured, essentially. I think I might need to put it on and test, and I need to refix the wig. Okay, then Marceline from Adventure Time, and that one I also have a lot I'm doing. Amendments to the cosplay. Marceline, and the guitar is like a lot of the guitar is done. I need to still like do some hand planing to the wood on the edges so it is more axe like, and then I need to paint it. But I think that the guitar will take one day, or less, or like it'll be like in between, like once I'm painting, then it's a lot of like paint and then wait for paint to dry and I do something else while paint is drying, kind of thing. And then her outfit is like mostly done. It just depends on how much extra stuff I want to do. So I'm going to wait to do any extra things to her outfit that I would otherwise, because like until last, because I have her shirt done and everything, but I would like to add some like fun embellishments to the pants, because right now they're just plain jeans. And even though that is what Marceline wears in Adventure Time, let me write this stuff down so people know. Do you guys have a visual? Okay, so we're doing okay. Ryland Grace. From Project Hail Mary. We're doing King Harold. I'm also gonna wear Rumi probably one of the days, but I already have that. It's just a wig. I'm not doing body paint for Marceline because that's too much effort. Well, it's also because it's a party cosplay and I don't want to be gray. I don't want to be worried about getting paint on stuff. And I've only painted myself once when I did a Jinbei cosplay, and I don't know. I mean, I've definitely learned things since then, but this whole thing. So yeah, and then Fawn, which are just some fixes. And then we're doing Marceline. But yeah, so for Marceline, because it's very vampiric, so like the thing I have is like the big like straw hat, but there are people online who've made straw hats and they do little cutouts, and then they do like, I think those people put like acrylic in a hat because it's a little harder, and they make it look like a cathedral, like stained glass in a cutout of a hat. And they do it with, I think, a hard acrylic, and they have like a hard brimmed hat. And my hat is not hard brimmed. It is like it's still straw, but it's like a little floppy. But I have also like a thinner floppy plastic. And I think that if I just do like colored, if I like slightly color some Mod Podge, then it will give, and I do some cool like effect. And they also have like technically like stained glass paint as well that you can get, and stained glass little like lines and things. So I was thinking about doing cutouts on the hat because that's very vampire, like a little cathedral, and I wanted it to be like some nods to Adventure Time on it. I think that would be really cool, as well as doing some sort of embellishment to the jeans. I don't know exactly what embellishments, something like rocker girl, but I just don't know what yet. I don't know if I would put like studs on the sides or like what. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. So that's what I want to do with Marceline. But Marceline, the hat thing is like I said, very last. It doesn't need to be, because those are just embellishments that I would add for my own version of Marceline that I'd want to do, because that is not her base outfit. I just like to add texture and interest to characters that are very flat, especially in like cartoons and stuff. I feel like there's so much opportunity and so much like fun stuff to do. So that's what I would like to do. And then I have Brazilian Miku, which I have a decent amount to do on, actually. Because this is for Brazilian Miku. This is the front and the back of things, and I'm gonna, you know, string the sides, and I have like a little bathing suit and stuff to wear under. But I do want to go onto this jean and make the denim that is not the stars darker to mimic the Brazilian flag a little bit more. And I do have some blue dye. Yes, Brazilian Miku. There's a bunch of fan art of Brazilian Hatsune Miku. And I've seen a bunch of girlies do it that I know, and they're not Brazilian. I'm like, hey, I want to do it. I'm actually Brazilian. But I want to darken it, but I haven't really seen what it's like, because I'm like, for you to like use dye as like a paint, because most of the time when I've dyed, you put it into like a dye pot and it's like hot and everything. I know I could technically use like a fabric paint, but I don't like the way fabric paint would necessarily sit on this. I would rather it be dye. I think it'd just look a little cooler, but I need to test it. I don't really know how I'm gonna test it without like possibly ruining it if it doesn't go well. But I might just grab another like light wash jean or something I have and see how it is when I like paint it on and see how that goes. Because this is very like, you know, like, I don't know, it's very frayed, and so it's a little like undone. So I think that I don't need to go all the way up to the edges here with the dye, so then the dye doesn't get into the star. Hopefully I can like prevent that by like I can just kind of like ombre it in or something. I don't know. So that's the hope with this. So that's part of the Miku. But then also I need to make the top for the Miku. And that one is just like, gonna be a pretty, that's gonna be, I can pop that out in like a couple of hours. It's just kind of like, I'm gonna be making a t-shirt. Yeah, I mean, like, nah. I mean, technically I could seam rip all of these stars off and then put them back on. You're not wrong. I could do that. That wouldn't... I'm wondering if that would be more or less effort. Or if it would just maybe make it look better. Because then I could also bleach these. Because I was wanting these to be lighter anyways. Because the Brazilian stars are white. Why didn't I even think to freaking... I didn't even think to take these off and put them back on. You might be onto something there. I don't know why this... Why is that just for decoration? That... I don't know why I didn't think to seam rip these suckers off. I do have denim fabric, though. I know you didn't say to seam rip them off. You said to get another thing, which that is also, I guess, a possibility. I could just get other denim stars and then put those stars on top of these stars, which is also a possibility because I do have white denim. Yeah, it would be annoying to seam rip. You brought me many things to think about, though. I think that maybe I might do what you... Yeah, I think that maybe not seam ripping, although I would do that. I don't think it would... I think once I got into the... I've seam ripped many more seams than this before in the past. I hated it, but I've done it. Typing isn't catching up. Especially because it's not just this. It's two sides, so double that, basically. Double the stars to seam rip. But if I didn't seam rip... Yeah, but then I would be afraid. But the thing is, I can't stop the wax from penetrating from underneath. Because I can only wax this side, because this is a piece of fabric on top. So if I would have to... Like, it, unfortunately, because of the fabric that is, there's like, you know what I mean? Even if I took this exact same shape that's on this side and put wax here. Oh, hello. Hello, Luciano. Oops. What did I? Oh, no. I just exited out of, how did that happen? Oh my God. Wait, I accidentally fully exited out of my whole thing. How did I accidentally? What just happened? That was crazy. I literally barely touched my mouse and it got rid of everything here. Hold on. Let me play my music again. Sorry. That was wild. How is it even there? Okay, whatever. Sorry. Let me go back to what I was saying. Okay, so the problem with waxing this, although I do like that idea, the concept of it, but there's still fabric that will be unwaxed under this, and so it would still be able to infiltrate underneath, because it's just all the fibers here are attached to the fibers that are under here. So wax, unfortunately, wouldn't work. But I do think that it could look really cool if I would like pull back all of these little like fraying bits like this. Then, and I got the white denim and I cut these exact same stars out of the white denim. Then I could dye this entire thing and then have the white denim here. And I could even do like some fraying on the white denim, and I think it could even look kind of cool if like there was some darker blue denim and white denim fraying like together. I think that might be a good idea. Why didn't I think to just cut out different stars and put it on top? And it also, if that looks bad, then I could just paint the white stars after the fact. That's also not the worst idea ever. Because I just didn't want to paint the whole thing blue. That's why I was wanting to dye it instead of paint it. But if I just painted the stars, that'll also not the worst thing. But I think it would look the coolest if I could do the white denim. Oh my god. Toby, thank you so much. This is why this is a good collaborative space. I'm so glad I'm telling you guys all my plans. Ugh, that's so good. All right. That's beautiful. That's amazing. We're going to do that. So that's one of the things I need to do on Brazilian Miku. The other thing is I need to make a little shirt, but it's just going to be like a little tiny shirt. And then I'm going to cut out the Brazil thing on another shirt that I have, put it on top. The only thing with the Brazilian Miku that is probably going to take my time, a lot of my time for my Miku, yeah, is the wig, which I already know is going to take minimum probably a day or two. It took me about 2 to 3 days to do my Rumi wig, and that was, I think, a little more intense, and that was the first time I ever did a really like that type of wig before that worked out well. So I think I could do it a little faster. So I think that this would take 2 days. I think a Miku wig would be 2 days. I already have some sandals. This is just what I wear every day. I already have Brazilian flag Havaianas. They're literally nasty dirty because I've had these for like 2 years or something. These are just, I should probably clean them, but I have them. And then I also have some like bracelets and stuff to wear. I might put some like around my thing. I'm not gonna paint I just need to wash them because they're dirty. They don't need to be painted. I have some Brazilian little things here for me to either wear on my ankles, on my wrists, all that kind of stuff. But what I am gonna do is, so there's a drink called Guaraná, which is like the main, like a big soda of Brazil. Like if you go to Brazil or you go to a Brazilian restaurant or a bakery or something, you're gonna get Guaraná. And there's nothing quite equivalent to it in America other than like, it's still wrong to say like a ginger ale mixed with like a 7-Up Spritey kind of thing. Like that's kind of what it tastes like, but not quite. But either way, I'm going to be drinking. I'm going to have one of those, but I want to get a can and I want to bedazzle it, but I need to go to the Brazilian bakery and get some and then bedazzle it. And I haven't really bedazzled things before, and I know bedazzling takes a long time. So yeah. So if anything, what I'll do is I'm going to bedazzle the logo first and then go from there and see how long it took me to do that. And then try to equivalent that for the rest of the can and see if that's possible. But that is also going to be like later on my list of things to do, just in case I don't have time. There's no one's going to be like, oh my God, your can is not bedazzled. You know, I just want to bedazzle it. I think it would add a little more elevation to it if I had a bedazzled can. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for Brazilian Miku. Don't worry, there's more. Not necessarily a football aesthetic. I also can't do too much with my nails because my nails have to be able to be changed for or not changed. They have to apply to like every cosplay. So if I have like Brazilian nails, then that doesn't work for like Marceline, and that definitely doesn't work for like a King Harold, you know? So that's the only downside sometimes of like con stuff, rather than like if I just did something for a photo shoot, is that I can't like go quite all out. Because if it was for a photo shoot or something, then I would have the nails. Although I've thought about getting like the type they have. Even though I do use press-on nails, there are press-on nails that you can get that are much more easily take-offable, essentially. So, like, when I use press-on nails in my everyday, I glue them down. But they do make, like, sticky tabs that make it easier to take off. So, like, that is technically a possibility that I've thought of like, But then I would be also afraid that they just come off throughout the day. So I would want to get like any press-ons that I would get, I would want them to be like really cheap and that I wouldn't mind if I lose them, kind of thing. Colored tape. That's an idea. That's a possibility for sure. Or like a vinyl. Toby, you got good ideas. What the hell? What the hell? I feel like the vinyl could work. I have like a bunch of like cricket vinyl. All right, so after Brazilian Miku. Yeah. Toby big brain. We're gonna do Juicy Spider-Man, which if you haven't watched the new Spider-Man movie, oops, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't really have anything to do with for that, other than I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with my like rest of me. I don't know if I should just wear my Spidey suit and then put I have these that I got at the thrift store, and then I'm gonna put not Juicy on the butt, I'm gonna put Spidey on the butt. And those bedazzles should come in I think tomorrow. But I don't know if I should just wear my Spidey suit underneath and then just call it a day. Yeah, I know that a lot of people are gonna be wearing it because it's so comfy and easy. But I kind of want to like elevate it a little bit. I thought about putting some spider bedazzling like on the black tank top. I don't have like a Spider-Man like mask, and I also wouldn't really want to wear a Spider-Man mask, so I was thinking I was gonna do more Spider-Man makeup and then figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair. I thought about getting a Spider-Man hat, so I could just have my normal hair and then do something cool with it. But that's my only hang up, is because, you know, I'm not a boy. Although I do need to be working out every day up until DragonCon. Even though I'm not going to be swole by DragonCon, obviously. But if I could have just the tiniest bit of a pump on my arms, then it would sell the Spider-Man a little bit more. But yeah. So, Spider-Man. I'm going to be doing Fio from Porco Rosso, if anyone has watched Fio Porco Rosso. And that's going to be a pretty simple outfit. I just need to paint some lines on a white button-up shirt that I have. So that's the only thing that I need to do for Fio. And I need to get a hat. I was gonna look at the cosplay garage sale this weekend for the right wig as well. And then I also don't know when I'm gonna be doing all of these, because some of these I don't really have an exact spot for them. But I'm gonna be doing Cooking Mama. And I am going to be making a little apron and stuff for Cooking Mama, so I think that won't take very long to make a little apron, because I'm not making like a full size. It's going to be a tiny little slutty apron. And I need to get a tray, because I'm going to serve, so I'm going to have like little like fake food and stuff on a tray. And I want to make sunglasses, or like glasses that have like magnets on them that I can swap out from like sparkle eyes to like fire eyes, or maybe just have fire eyes. Probably is what I'll probably end up only having time to do, so then I can like put on the fire eyes and be angry Cooking Mama. But that'll be pretty easy to do, because I just need to, she just wears like a button-up shirt, jeans, and an apron. And so I'm gonna make her slutty, because I'm gonna be cooking a mother. I'm mothering, that's the concept. So I'm gonna have like little jean shorts for Cooking Mama, and then I'm gonna have like I'm gonna do a different take on like a button up. It's still gonna be a button up, but it's gonna be, we use that like a slutty button up, and then also tiny little apron. And so I'm gonna be cooking mother. So that's the concept for Cooking Mama. I've wanted to do Cooking Mama for a long time because I love the Cooking Mama games. Yeah. So that's the plan. And then somewhere in there, what else am I bringing? That's pretty much it. Somewhere in there, I'm going to also try to wear Rumi. Who knows when I'm wearing all this? Because let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right now, how many slots are there? Because I do a day and a night for everything. So there's a... Wait, what am I missing? That's not on this list. That's on that list. Project Hail Mary, Fawn, oh, I have Spider-Man. Do I have Spider-Man twice? No. Why are things not adding up? Oh, I have Rumi. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 plus Rumi. I have 10 slots. How is that something not adding up? I have no idea. Either way, I'm very excited for DragonCon. I'm thinking Rumi will be like my Wednesday cosplay, even though that's like that's a crazy time to do. No. No, yes. No, yes. Yes, no? I have too many things I want to do. Maybe some of these are very easy casual. Like the Project Hail Mary one is like real casual. Oh, the thing is I don't like the onesie night. Even though I have onesies to wear and stuff. It's just like really warm. So for those who don't know, Wednesday at DragonCon is known to being like the onesie day where people wear onesies. But like it's also everyone is super duper packed and it's really, really fucking hot outside. So I'm not like inclined to want to wear a onesie. But I have thought about wearing Rumi on Wednesday and then doing my like derpy hoodie. And that is like adjacent to a onesie. Because it's like of the vibes of a onesie, but not. That is like a possibility that I've thought of, you know? So that's maybe why Rumi is Wednesday. So it's new Wednesday, Thursday night. Friday night, Saturday night. Oh, I do have Spider-Man on here twice. That is what got me. I was like, why do I have more things here on my phone than here? That's because I have Spider-Man on here twice. I see. I think Cooking Mama will be Saturday night. Maybe. Anyways, you guys don't need to know the exact days and times I'm doing all of this. But I do want to I do like to try to do like the hype stuff on the hype nights kind of thing. And I think that wearing Spider-Man on Sunday would be the most comfy as well because like, you know, because it's like sweatpants, you know? And that's like the last night. So, yeah. Write that down. Yeah, I'm going to swap it out. So Sunday night is going to be, or Saturday night is Cooking Mama. And then Sunday night is Spider-Man. I guess I was hoping I would be able to wear Rumi on a more important day. Because I did so much on that wig. I wanted to be able to show it off at DragonCon. But it is possible I could throw it on one of these one of the in-between times or something. Throw on the wig. The wig is the cosplay, basically. I don't have the rest of the cosplay. Because... it was the cosplay base was a borrowing from a friend. Although one of my friends does have her like pajama look, so maybe I'll borrow that, and then I could wear Rumi pajamas at some point. There have been plenty of times where I've like moved like my party cosplay I'm like a little tired of, and then I go into a different party cosplay. I did that with Alice Cullen a few years ago, where I like left from wearing one cosplay and then like I changed really fast and people were like, I literally just saw you 30 minutes ago, how are you in a different cosplay? And I was like, have my ways. So that's a possibility. Definite possibility. Yeah, I do want to bring back Alice. I want to wear Alice again. It's fine. I'm not gonna wear. I mean, I think one of these years, I think I should bring her back next year. I also just need to bring her to more cons in general. But I need to remake her hat because I lost her hat at a Halloween party. So I mean, it was really easy to make, so it's not crazy, but I just have to do that if I want to wear her again. All right. Yeah, we've been going. The stream has been basically 4 hours. It's at 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds. And it's already 11:30. So, we will be ending stream. So thank you everyone for coming. I think that, like I said, I think next stream is going to be, Sunday, if I had to guess. And I'm going to be doing a lot of wig crimping, I think, that day. I think that's the wig crimping day. And maybe even, like, prepping the base for the Hatsune Miku wig, possibly. That's what I'm guessing is what I'm going to be doing that day. So I might have King Harold to show. I might be done with King Harold by then. Or at least I'm hoping I'll be mostly done with King Harold by then. So, I mean, I do have to make a YouTube video in between that time. So we'll see. But thank you everyone for coming to the stream, both on Twitch and on YouTube. I appreciate everyone for hanging out with me and helping me do this, like, part of this tedious process of making bunny suit stuff. This is the more boring part of it all. So I thank you. And for everyone who, you know, wants to see me on anything else, I would please ask you to go to my YouTube. I'm also My Lady Sprout on YouTube, and watch my YouTube videos because I am trying to get my watch time hours up so I can get partnered on YouTube. So all my links, I'm My Lady Sprout everywhere online. I post a lot of, like, cosplay and crafting things on Instagram as well. I'm just everywhere these days. I think I can do... Is that right? That's not right. How do I don't know. I have a bot in here. I don't know what, I don't remember my own fucking commands, so the links are in the descriptions, okay? Of everywhere. So yeah, I should probably raid someone, huh? How should I go about doing that? I guess I should find someone to raid. Let's raid someone. How about that? Don't leave. But I'm gonna say goodbye to YouTube then. All right. Bye-bye YouTube. Everyone say bye-bye YouTube. We're gonna end the YouTube stream. And we're gonna hang out a little more on Twitch. Bye-bye YouTube.